movie podcast ever recorded. And today we've popped the manhole cover. We're going down into the sewers of New York City to talk about the Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze. Let's go. And we're not starting off with anything other than this awesome thing that's happening right here is Mr. Kurt Mummer is back on BMR. What's up, Kurt?
How are you, sir? I'm so glad to be back.
I'm fantastic.
It's no secret that I'm here.
It's no secret. You're not Burt Summer this time.
No.
Yourself?
I was able to come in.
You didn't
freshly
didn't
cleaned
have to
up.
pull out the old Burt Summer again.
Yeah, no.
The Burt Summer.
Appreciate it.
I pulled out there's a drawer of mustaches that I have, and I pulled them out. And
Dude,
I said,
that mustache was on there hard,
it
too.
was. I glued
Remember
it on.
that?
Yes, I remember. I couldn't
pulled
get
his
the thing
face off.
It was ridiculous.
My upper lip burned for a week after that.
It's been 4 months,
Yes.
right? And, took a break, spent some time with the family. Now
Yes.
you're back.
Yes, sir.
I'm thrilled, man.
I'm happy to be here.
Everybody's happy. We get emails and messages all the time. People are very excited. I've been telling people you're coming back. For those of you that didn't know already, now you know now. He's here, and we're I think it's awesome we're getting to start with Ninja Turtles.
Yes. I wasn't able to be on the first one.
Right.
I was busy having a kid.
And we booted Bob off.
Yes.
Because he was on the last one.
Well, that makes sense. He said the last one was a bad movie.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that is not true.
We're like, get out of here.
We don't need
You're
you
gone.
here in your bad energy.
We're having Mummer back for the next one. Get out of here. The mayor, Ryan Mueller's in the house.
here.
Welcome back from Ninja Turtles 1. You were here with us.
I was here for that one, yes.
Yeah, man. Do you remember what you rated it? I've forgotten. I didn't go back and
It was at least a bad movie that rules.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
that was at least a bad movie that
It was a
rules for
positive
me.
review, I think, other than Bob.
Other
than
than
Bob was the only
Yeah.
one I think that said it was a bad movie.
Yeah, and we've also got Dr. Ryan Madela in the house with us back also from Ninja Turtles 1.
Yeah. Howdy.
So we've got 3/4 of the original team. Kurt Mummer is here filling in for Bob, and we're going to dive straight in here to the sequel to the 1990 film. We got the 1991 Secret of the Ooze, Ninja Turtles 2. And for those of you who never joined the show before, we're going to go through this scene by scene. Before we do that, we'll give you the vitals, who wrote it, directed it, starred in it, what the critics thought, all of that stuff. And then we'll break it down scene by scene. And at the end, we're going to give it some awards, who we thought were, the best, the worst actors, what our favorite things were. Ultimately, though, you're going to have to decide for yourself if this is good or not. We're just going to tell you what we think at the end of the day. Is this actually a bad movie, or is it a bad movie that rules? Or sometimes, rarely, it's a good movie straight up. So I'm excited to dive into this today, guys.
It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the biggest changes you'll see from Ninja Turtles 1 to Ninja Turtles 2 is at the director's seat. It is now directed by Michael Pressman, who did not direct the first one.
Yes.
They tossed that guy.
And they're like, you're out of here.
Not sure why they did that, but
Well, there was a few reasons. They thought that Ninja Turtles, this is hilarious now in retrospect, now after 30 years of Ninja Turtling.
Ninja Turtling.
Was 87 was the cartoon, right?
87, yes, sir.
87,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, I know there was a comic series, but the cartoon is what brought it into the mainstream.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's where you reached out and got a bunch of kids at our age.
I always
around
watched
that time, we
Ninja
were like
Turtles
9 or
Saturday
10.
morning, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And they were so sure that the studio was so sure that the Ninja Turtles were going to fizzle out soon, that it was going to ultimately be like a flash in the pan type thing.
Sure.
That they're like, we got to get a second movie out now and get that money before
Yeah,
people
'cause
don't
it's
care.
A year later, right?
Less than a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's insane.
calendar, you just see 90, 91, but within it's less than 12 months from one to the next
Kind of
movie.
like a break-in situation.
Right.
Let's get this out.
And so-
people want it.
They got a new director that would do it in the timeline that they wanted to do it in. And yeah.
It was kind of a quick switch from the original two because from the original to two because they don't seem to use their weapons at all.
No, they don't.
No.
Which
Nope.
would be beneficial, especially when you're caught in a net.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
sword
I mean,
would be really beneficial at that
Swords
time.
are
But
pretty
Yeah.
good at handling a
net?
a rope net, yeah.
So as we go through this, you're going to see there's all kinds of big changes. But yeah, there's lots that changed in the course of less than a year from Ninja Turtles 1 to 2. Movie was written by the same guy, though. It was written by Todd Langen, who wrote the first one. So there's some consistency there. Movie starred Paige Turco, David Warner, Michael Sisti, Leif Tilden, Ken Scott, and Mark Queso were the Turtles in the suits. The other big change being April O'Neil, no longer being Judith Hogue, thank you, and now is Paige Turco. Apparently, I think we might have even talked about this at the end of the last one.
We did.
yes.
They didn't like that she
Judith
complained.
was hard to work with.
She complained about how it was, the working conditions and all this stuff, and they're like, you don't need to be around for the next one. So
That's rough.
Yeah.
The only other movie I've seen Paige in was my daughter really enjoyed the movie with The Rock.
The Tooth Fairy?
No, the other one.
The Game Plan?
Game Plan.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she plays the aunt or mom in that story.
Okay,
So
I don't think I've
that's
ever seen
the
it.
only other one I've ever seen her in.
Yeah.
Is she good in that one?
She's okay. She's only in it maybe a quarter of the movie.
She was fine, if I remember right
Yeah.
from that movie. It's been a while since I've seen it.
This was really shocking. So the original, and again, wasn't that long ago, less than a year, took in over $200 million in box office. This budget was $25 million, which is pretty modest, I'd say, for modern blockbusters, $25 million budget. But it
Yeah.
only brought in $79 million.
Ooh.
That's it.
Do you think it was too quick of a release?
Maybe there was some confusion in the marketplace. Like, wait, didn't we already go see the Ninja Turtles
We
movie?
we have Ninja
Because it
Turtles at
came
home.
so quickly, yeah.
We have Ninja Turtles at home.
They're still on Saturday mornings. We're good.
Right.
I mean,
I don't know, because I'm sure they marketed the crap out of it. I was surprised to see that it only made them $80 million.
It still made money though.
Yeah, no, it's a profit, but when you're thinking like, we just made $200 million bucks.
Right. Let's get another
Yeah.
200 real quick.
Get one in the hopper.
Yeah.
Like
We're going to
immediately.
bring Vanilla Ice in this one. We're going to get at least 205.
How did we not make more money with Vanilla Ice?
Maybe that's
And-
why they didn't make more money.
and-
No, you just add ice, it makes it better.
Yeah. Kevin Nash was in this one.
Right. That's
How,
what I'm
how
saying.
do you not make more money when you got Vanilla Ice and Diesel in here?
First one didn't have Diesel. First one didn't have Vanilla
Nope.
Ice.
Yeah.
First
Made
one
more
had
money.
It made more, yeah, but it had an April O'Neil that didn't want to be there, but somehow it made more money. I don't know. The IMDb rating for this is a 6 flat, 6.0. It is tied for 48th highest on so out of the 130 something movies we've done, it's tied for 48th highest IMDb rating with Big Hit was also a 6.0. The Net, which we just did recently, was a 6.0. Werewolves Within and Winners Take All were all 6.0 movies.
How can this thing be tied with Winners Take All?
Or the big
You
hit.
got to be. The Big Hit was overrated to begin with, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting. This is only the 5th movie we've done that was a 6 exactly. Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 36% critic score.
Oof.
Yeah, so only a third of critics enjoyed it, and it's right now the opposite. 2/3 of the audience at 67% of the audience liked it. So
That's pretty good ratings,
yeah, for the
considering critics
audience.
are idiots.
Well, yeah, so maybe it's a great movie,
Yeah.
Could be.
right? If we discount the idiotic critics who don't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of them to begin with.
Look at the general populace, which has proven themselves to be, smart and trustable over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Just look at Google reviews.
Right.
Right.
We could say this is probably really,
Amazon
really great.
reviews everything. People know what they're talking about.
You know who does know what they're talking about?
Who?
Our patrons. So,
Oh, they
and I'm not just
absolutely
bringing that
do.
up because I want to talk about that now, but seriously, we've been in the Discord. We've got a Discord community that people can join if they're part of the Patreon, and you can chat with us.
It's like 24/7 now, that Discord.
we're chatting
talk chat
all the time.
I wake up to 200 messages in the
Right.
morning some mornings.
But it's got some of the smartest people in there.
Absolutely.
I almost said dudes, but there are some women
there's a
in
few.
the Discord. It's got some of the smartest people in there. Their takes are always on point. I always look forward to what they have to say about these movies. Man, sometimes they'll watch the movies and they'll
They're
live.
watching movies we're not even doing.
They're live commenting on the stuff while they're watching it. It's
Well-
like
Because what movie are you on?
A lot of them watch or like Last Starfighter. So
Yes.
they do.
See, they
There
know
is
what
that.
I'm talking about.
I was
Here we
surprised.
go.
So speaking of that, you guys just did a Halloween episode,
Yeah.
on the Horror Reel, which is a podcast we produce strictly for our patrons on Patreon. And y'all talked about Nick Castle, who played the Shape in that movie.
Yeah.
And never once did it come up that y'all talking about how great Nick Castle is, And Nick Castle directed Last Starfighter, and it didn't come up even once in that episode.
They were
And I'm just
ignoring
like-
it on
they're just
purpose,
like-
I believe.
I
I
didn't
think
know
he's
that,
burying
yeah.
the fact that
no, I had no idea.
if you had, okay.
Yeah.
The Mike Myers, the same guy that was stabbing girls in the breasts in that movie,
Bob was the one who knew everything about that.
was the Last Starfighter director. And so I was like, Ryan's inadvertently unaware that he's praising that guy that he thinks did
No,
a
it's-
terrible job in
He
Last Starfighter.
did a terrible job in Last Starfighter. Sure.
All right.
No, wait. What did he do for Last Starfighter?
He directed it.
That's way.
He made it
different.
wonderful. That's what he did,
Way
Ryan.
different than being.
He
the
made a
shape.
great movie. That's what he did.
I don't know.
You're saying that if you act in something and you direct something, that's the same. You're expecting the same quality.
No, I'm saying I don't. No one knows anything, is what I'm saying. That's
Okay.
I don't know. If
I
that's
will
true.
answer that with Mel Brooks.
Well, that's an
He
exception.
directs everything, and he's in almost everything.
He's a diamond, though.
I brought this all up to say we got sidetracked, and that's okay. This the whole show is sidetrackedness. If you want to be part of an awesome community of people and get on that Discord and chat with us, these guys and gals are awesome. You can join us, patreon.com/badmoviesrule. You can join for as little as $3 and you get access to a lot of our bonus podcasts. I think at $5 a month is where you get into the Discord. And guys, it's just a great time. And so if you want to be part of an awesome community, we'd love to have you. It's in the show notes, the link to all that stuff. So feel free to jump in and join anytime.
I need to
Otherwise,
get back on there.
Get back on there.
do.
So we're going to have you in there. Also, if you want to get in touch with the show just directly, you can email us or call us at thisshowIstrash@gmail.com, or our number is 262-757-8567. That's down in the show notes as well.
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
You can call us and we will answer your voicemails.
We have a hotline?
Yeah, we're not going to pick up the phone. You don't be afraid like, oh, I can't call. What if they answer? We won't answer, but leave us a voicemail. We listen to it on the mailbags and we respond on there.
That's awesome.
And we can now make outbound calls too.
Yeah,
What?
man.
So we
Yes.
could order a pizza right now?
We could.
But we're not
Oh,
going
man, that'd be great.
After
During
this.
a turtle movie? All of New York loves pizza.
Yeah, so let's get started.
Do we order it under April O'Neil's name?
The
Yes.
whole movie, the movie kicks off. It's like montage shots of New York City, right?
yeah.
And everyone's eating pizza.
Everybody.
I loved this scene. This was incredible.
I just wanted him to lean in a little. Like, let's have a guy coming out of the sewer with like a construction hat on.
just-
and just
pizza.
mowing. He's like got crap on his hands.
Yeah.
He's like, I eat this pizza.
Everyone's eating
Caseworker
pizza.
coming out like after like seeing some stepfather who beats their kid.
Yes, right, exactly.
Whoa.
She's crying while eating pizza.
Rat scurries out of the alley with pizza.
That's what's up. They got these guys. There's the carriage horse driver and the guy. They're eating pizza.
And the
together.
The horse is eating
The
pizza.
horse is
Yeah.
eating pizza. There's a guy sitting on a fountain making out with the hottest woman I've ever seen in my life. And
They stopped to eat pizza.
Yeah.
They
Well, they're
stopped
doing
eating
it like
pizza.
Lady in the Tramp style with the pizza.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
what's up, man.
Meet in the
Every
middle.
single one of them.
That's the way I enjoy pizza.
Do you?
Yeah.
And this
Neat.
is where we meet Keno. Keno played by the same guy. Last time we saw Ernie Reyes Jr. was as Prince Tarn in Red
Yes.
Sonja.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that was him?
That was him.
Yeah,
Same
that was
guy.
him.
Still doing the same moves.
Yeah.
Ninja flipping and kicking.
Yep.
He's Keno. He's not Italian, but he works at this Italian restaurant.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, get these pizzas out of here.
Okay, we just got Napoli's, which is this pizza place in town in Burlington. If you're ever in town, get their pizza. It's really good.
Yeah.
But we just got that last night, and then Lauren and I watched this morning with the kids, and I was so mad watching the owner of the pizza shop take the pizza boxes and flip them 90 degrees,
Vertically.
hand them to Keno, and then that happened 6 more times before the turtles.
Yes,
did.
their
Yeah.
handling of the pizza was
It's-
offensive.
And
It's
those
a
pizzas were not
travesty.
messed up at all.
No.
That's
They
a
would have
well-cooked
been
pizza.
All sauce sloshed around, and the box would just be like wet.
I thought about giving him the trash can because I'm like, clearly the boxes are empty. Okay, there's no pizza.
Sure.
He picked them up so easily, like 2 pizzas with one hand. Like, okay, no problem.
And immediately flips
And
them.
immediately flips them vertical to hand them off to
Yes.
Keno, right? And so I'm like, you're an actor. Your one job is to act like there's pizza in that box.
Have
Yeah.
you never picked up a pizza box?
Exactly. He never handled a pizza in his life.
I carry pizza boxes more carefully than I've ever carried one of my
I carry
baby
frozen
children.
pizzas like that. And
Yes.
you know, with frozen pizzas, nothing's moving on a frozen
Right.
pizza.
I
And I
pull it-
still carry that MFer flat.
I pull a Jax out of the freezer. I'm
That's
carrying
right.
it flat.
That's right.
I don't want all the cheese to fall off.
Seriously.
All right.
You ever
so
do that though? You cut open the Jacks, and all the
Yes.
cheese is on the side, and you're like, "Ugh,
It's terrible.
throw it out.
It's garbage.
I'm not even eating
Cut
it.
half
Can't
this
even eat
pizza.
Keno goes out. He's got to deliver this pizza to April O'Neil, and he's like, "Again, man, they should buy stock in pizza. They order it all the time. We know as the audience, this is for the turtle."
Yeah, she should be buying it at wholesale.
Right.
Yeah.
He gets onto his little scooter, and there's these girls outside. He tries to rizz up. They're like, "Yeah, in your dreams, pal." And he's like, "All right, fat asses, I'll get out of here."
He's like, I'll be thinking about something a little thinner. It was like, wow, bringing the heat.
Escalated quickly. He drives.
I
his
mean,
little,
she did call him a dweeb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In your dreams, dweeb.
Yeah.
I mean, she was all of 85 pounds. I mean, come on. You know, let's get something thinner here. Quit eating all that pizza, cheeky.
If Ninja Turtles Manhattan was a real place, it'd be like Wall-E 10 years later. Right?
Just pizza boxes.
Everybody would be
stacked everywhere.
400 pounds.
Everybody, they'd have robots feeding them pizza while they're scooting around in their little motor chairs.
The whole city is just built out of pizza boxes.
The other thing that hasn't changed about this city, if you remember from the first one, all those brash robberies where there's just like trucks and vans open with electronic equipment. Just
Yeah, they
stacked
carry
up.
more people than there are room in the vans.
Yeah, right.
Keno
Many
pulls
more
up in his
people.
little scooter, and there's, I mean, just open trucks and vans that are
3
like
vans there with
parked out-
electronics all
that are parked outside of. The name of the store was Toys for Fun,
Well, yeah, you got to rob a toy store. That's the way to do it.
which is the best name for a toy store. I mean, it better than anything I've ever seen. It's like pizza for food. Right? Like this is
Toys for
Toys
fun,
for fun.
as opposed to
toys that suck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody
that
likes to
place
shop
closed
at
down
Suck
6 months
Toys.
ago.
You know, Toys R Fun would have been too close to Toys R Us. That would have got him in trouble.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
They Keno investigates because he doesn't have anything else to do with it.
He does a little
Other than
private
deliver the
investigator.
pizza,
Do his-
he's
Yeah,
on
and he
the
walks
clock.
with the pizza.
Yeah.
Like set the pizza down, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna cause a ruckus here with some pizza."
Yeah, why does he bring the pizza into the toy store?
I don't understand.
When he gets back, his boss should demand that he turn in his gun and badge.
Right.
Get Keno in here. I've had it.
I've had it up to here with you and your pizza boxes.
I want your gun.
mayor.
I got the mayor on the phone right now. He's doing a tango up and down my
Police
Hershey
chief
Highway.
just yelling at him.
All right. So it's a brash robbery. There's about 3 dudes in there with pantyhose on their head, you know. And
No robbers do that.
Keno can fight.
Yeah,
Like,
he's doing well. I love that he's like public arrest or whatever.
Yes.
You're under arrest.
Citizen's arrest.
Citizen
Keno,
arrest.
yeah, Keno looks like he dabbled in martial arts a little bit. Yeah.
The dudes get knocked around, but then, you know, like stormtroopers, 47 more guys come in
Yeah.
to the hallway. They all have panty. Like I said,
Well,
they
and one
bought,
lifted it off his face to begin with, and when he first came in, it's like,
Yeah.
why did you put it back on then?
Well, you got to use it as a natural shelf.
they like bought out the Walgreens of all the pantyhose they ever had, right? There's just
There
like-
wasn't.
There's
there
some
wasn't-
lady going in there, got to run in her hose, and she's like, we're fresh out. We got hit up by 20,000 guys.
20 blocks in Manhattan with Walgreens without pantyhose in them now.
dude, that's a lot. That's all I could think of. I was like, that's a lot of pantyhose.
Just imagine a detective at the Kohl's, and she's like, "Yeah, they have a lot of Kohl's cash."
And
Cold's cash.
amazingly enough, none of these pantyhose get runs on them either when they
No.
put them over their big
Do you
melons.
just cut them in half, and then one head goes in each leg, or is it
That
like
would be more.
one guy with a set of pants on just on his head?
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That has to be it.
They
This guy's got 2 on.
the turtles show up immediately, and they first thing they do is they throw Keno in a garbage can.
Yeah,
like,
freeze frame, jump in.
for his own protection.
Yeah, throw him in there, make sure he's okay.
Title card of the movie.
Yep.
Ninja Turtle. Which I like that they didn't waste a lot of time to get to the turtles. 'cause
No.
It's the sequel. We don't need to hide them or what they look
Right.
like or anything. Let's just get straight into it. And then we have our first fight. And I put fight in quotes because of what you brought up before. This is the first time it's really obvious, Ryan, that they cannot use their weapons.
Yeah, they use them in helping themselves, but not in against the bad guys.
Right. Like at one point,
Makes
Leonardo puts him in
no
the
sense.
ceiling to use them to
Yeah,
hold on.
just
Do
put some
some-
gymnast rings in the ceiling at that point. Put
Get
a
a
pommel
pommel
horse in the
horse.
middle of this.
Teenage Mutant Gymnast Turtles.
Some ninja kata out here. Just
Ninja kata.
So what's happened, and it's been well documented at this point, a bunch of parents complained about how dark and violent the first one was, which isn't even a dark and violent movie.
I think they needed to lean in more.
And,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Absolutely.
And so the studio said, we got to make it more kid friendly, so they're not allowed. Not like the writer didn't want them to use their weapons; they weren't allowed to.
Well, in Newsflash, that actually went into the cartoon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you watch the cartoon, there's a point where
It
they
evolved.
stop using their weapons. Michelangelo's no longer using nunchucks. He's using like a shell grappling hook.
Right.
Which is kind of the same thing that he did with the yo-yo in this movie.
Which, if you think about it, though, this Turtles movie is kind of on the heels of the first Batman.
Right.
Like, which was dark and everything. And what do we know? Kids like Batman,
They
right?
went crazy. McDonald's was doing
They
Batman
have
Happy
Batman-
Meals.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't care.
Well, and that was
you
a
think
great-
Turtles. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a dark thing anyway. You know, they're living in the sewer. and especially in the first one, it's kind of like a dark and dingy landscape anyway in the movie. It's like, come on.
That's not a bad comparison, because if you think about that to Tim Burton's Batman's,
Yeah.
it was very dark. The first one was very, like, gothic and very kind of like, ooh, this is great. It's the first time we've ever seen the Turtles. Then all of a sudden the second one got campy.
Right.
And then by the third one, you're like, this is ridiculous.
The third
what am
one's
I watching
Batman and
now?
Robin is
Yeah,
what it is.
exactly.
Yeah.
It took
Let's sell
longer.
toys.
But it took longer, but the same thing happened to Tim Burton. So Tim Burton came out with Batman Returns, and parents lost it. Even McDonald's was pissed about how dark
Yeah.
that movie was.
We can't have toys with noses gushing
bleeding
blood.
and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And so they fired Burton and brought in Schumacher to basically make 2 movies that were toy commercials.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like they ultimately did the same thing to Batman.
It would
Yeah.
have been interesting for this if they would have done it in a little bit more clever way, which it sounds like kind of a joke almost, but they could have done this. They could have started with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being way younger, where it wouldn't be appropriate for them to have weapons at the time.
Fine.
And start cartoons at that age, and then like you rate it for that age group.
Yeah.
And like you can even make movies, and then you can
Age them up.
age them up, and then at that point you have so much more content to work with.
But
Sure.
here's the thing about that, though. If we
great
think
idea.
about, and I was thinking about this, right? The cartoon started in '87. We were at 8, 9, and '87, right? Just to that point. Like, okay, you kind of start there and work your way up, because by the time we're, us anyway, we're watching this movie, we're 12, 11, 12 in that PG-13 range. Like
Weapons
and most of
weren't
our
bothering
parents-
us
right.
back then,
And
yeah.
most of our our parents were letting us watch crap we probably shouldn't have been watching at those early ages
Well,
anyway.
here's what I'll say. And when I say our, I don't mean our specifically. I mean our generation.
I know.
Our generation's parents sucked, okay? Because they whined about everything. Like He-Man couldn't have violence. They just could throw characters around and stuff. Same kind of a thing.
Sure.
Yep.
You know, the Ninja Turtles, they whined after the first movie. If they made a movie like this now, we're the parents.
Yeah.
We would never complain about this.
I wouldn't.
No,
I
you know
don't.
what I mean, right?
No.
Like we'd be like, heck yeah, let's go to the theater together and go watch this. Like, but for some reason, the parents of our generation would whine about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not, and there was no blood or anything. It was just
No.
kind of, okay, you got hit with a nunchuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Ralph wasn't
like
running
Raph
people
was
through with his sai.
Stabbing someone in the eye socket with his thigh. you know.
Exactly.
He didn't pull a Princess Bride and just run them through.
So what do they end up in this scene? They end up using. They have a belt that they use at one point.
Yeah.
Mikey
Yo-yo.
wields sausages,
Sausage
Yep.
nunchucks.
a yo-yo,
Yep.
a knockover clown.
Yeah. But and then right there, he had the styrofoam like bats.
Yeah.
The styrofoam
Yeah.
bat.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt.
Well,
It made him run away.
the guy that was getting hit by it acted like it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy should get an Oscar. How well he acted like that thing was.
he might have. Who knows?
No spoilers on the Will Patton Ward.
Speaking of the yo-yo, what kind of thieves mid-robbery are going to be like, we got to get, holy shit, you see what this guy's doing with this yo-yo? Okay, Vinny, come check this out.
Hey, come on over here. Look at-
And they all
he's
get
going
like,
around the
oh,
world.
oh, and he's doing walk the dog,
I got
and they
a
all,
cousin that does this.
They all stop.
I'll just stop.
Grab me a pizza, huh?
Until finally,
What's
he's
his
like,
yo-yo?
He just pulls up the nylon hosiery, just eats a slice of pizza. Hey, check out this yo-yo
Hey.
tricks over here.
I know we're trying to escape and not get beat up by these 6-foot turtles, but he's walking the dog over
Hey,
here.
he's walking the dog here.
That was so dumb.
You see his form on Around the World?
Oh, my
Holy
God.
mackerel.
Knocks them all out with the yo-yo.
I didn't even see it coming.
Which is totally going to work.
Oh, yeah.
A 1 ounce yo-yo.
That's right. I also,
Dude, if it's a Duncan, you're done.
Yeah, that's at least an ounce and a half.
one thing we should skip. We don't need to know what Mikey did to that guy behind the meat counter, right?
No, we don't.
Okay. Because they never show it. But he went back down there a couple times.
Well, and the fun gag with that was him pulling himself down.
Right.
Because no one was pulling him down,
No,
but he was
right.
doing like a charades
his own
bit.
head,
Yeah, he grabbed
like,
his own head,
body
pulled it
slammed
down.
it.
Right.
It was like to stop everybody and go, hey, this guy's doing a show over here. Check that. Hey, Vinny, did you see the yo-yo? Now look at this.
I'm thinking he killed that guy. I think they had it in
Mikey
the
killed
script.
the guy.
They added that in the script. I'm like, well, it's got to happen off camera if he's going to do it, right?
It's going to be on the Netflix special Dark Side of the Shell.
He's probably one of
Dark
those.
side of the shell. Sausage stuffed.
He got one of those Bratzies behind the counter there, just
They're doing
Bratzied him.
the talking heads thing from documentaries. Yeah, I saw what he did behind that counter. I was there.
Everybody was there, and everyone just told the cops nothing happened.
It's on VH1 behind the shell,
That's what's up.
behind the meat counter.
They ultimately chased.
You got to
these
be
guys out
careful
of
with
here.
a turtle with sausage.
It's true. They chase the guys all out of there, and this is where we now cut to the brand new April O'Neil running up to her building, and there's lots of ways to introduce a recasted character, and this is certainly one approach. Well, hey, that's it. You're April O'Neil. You're April O'Neil.
Everybody got that?
Okay, right, audience? This is her.
Not just her.
so you know.
Not just your April O'Neil. You're the look over at his friend,
Yeah.
and she's like, "That's April O'Neil."
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
She's on the Channel 6 News.
I'm like, all right.
She's
And
friends
then-
with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and then
From
go
the
right
first
back
movie.
into, honey, you got to be careful up there with your doing your yoga and all that
Yes.
stuff. And
Oh yeah, all the
now you're
gymnastics.
like, well, wait a second, because you don't realize that the turtles are living
Not
with
yet.
April
Not
at
yet.
this point, right?
Not
Yeah, you just think she's.
So you're like, what kind of gag
exercising.
is that?
Right.
Like, what is she talking about?
Yeah, they're all hanging out at her crib. And that's another thing that's not clear about the movies. We don't know how long it's been since the end of part 1.
And
Yeah.
why were all of your parents okay with that in the movie?
Yeah.
That's not very Christian.
Well, look, they can't use the nunchucks, but they can shack up with the girl 4-on-1.
Man.
Okay?
5.
I don't know.
File the rat.
Oh yeah, Splinter was there too. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
I heard,
I'm just saying.
I heard some of them suffer from reptile dysfunction.
Rack him.
Rack 'em.
Let's
my
go.
God.
I'm back, baby.
He's back.
Yeah, because right after this, Raph is like, what are we even worried about? The foot is gone, right? Remember Shredder?
Hey, whoa.
He like recaps the whole end of the first movie. Remember, he's back into the garbage truck.
That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long? So it could have been a week.
Yeah.
Right? It could have
We
been a
don't
couple
know.
days. We don't
He has to recap, so it's been at
Really?
least a week.
It's been at least. Oh, you're right. Remember 2 days ago? Remember on Thursday when this happened? Yeah. Oh,
Raph,
you're right.
every time you tell the story, it just gets more and more crazy.
And anytime they want to have fun, enter Splinter immediately. Oh, my children. A ninja is a door to a sunrise or whatever stupid crap he's. You know what I mean?
It's like a Saturn with a sunroof.
All we have is each other, and invisibility of ninja is like a path to a door. You know, like,
And they're like,
You're not
just catching some Z's over here.
10 backflips. You're not you and you're hungry. They could have got a lot more ads.
freaking
ads in
Snickers
this thing, man.
commercial. I love it. All right.
That's Kevin Clash, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah. That's the puppeteer from Sesame Street who was Elmo.
That's
Yeah.
Elmo? Is
That's
Splinter?
Elmo. Yeah, it's the voice.
I'm
of
glad
Splinter.
he didn't do the Elmo voice.
Wouldn't that have been great?
Comes in.
Turtles.
Splinter is your friend.
Welcome to my world. Splinter's world. La 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 la.
I don't want to tickle me Splinter. You made a funny.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, we cut to the answer is given to us very quickly about whether Shredder is still alive because it cuts to the landfill. And this is why I asked the question because Shredder is like hand coming out of the garbage. So my first question was, how long
Long
has
has
Boy
he been
been
laying there?
in the garbage?
Yeah.
Right? Like a week?
Well, and
At least?
apparently, like, they don't, it has to be. Because
Right.
at what point, I mean, in a garbage heap, you're imagining they're scooping garbage and dumping it into whatever
Yeah.
they
They
do,
just dump
burners
it.
or, yeah. So,
They didn't bury it yet.
Well, and just
The seagulls didn't get them yet. So
yeah,
it's-
just
Well,
like
I love the whole,
nutrition
like-
even. Like, how are you going to last?
yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's garbage. So it just, hey,
you
here's a
saw
banana.
the pizza they were eating. I mean, not everybody eats a crust.
Lot
It's
of
I
not
just gave
just the
Splinter.
crust
I
out.
just gave. Splinter. I almost pulled a Joe. I just gave Shredder the New York voice instead of his. Hey, how you doing? Hey, there's a banana over here.
You end up buried in a landfill in New York long enough. Maybe he just
There's
kept.
plenty to eat.
You just suck up the accent.
It took him so long to crawl because he just kept almost getting to the top and they dumped more garbage on. Oh, again! It's like, oh, finally.
I'm crawling here.
Mind your business.
Y'all ever been anywhere near a landfill?
No.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Reek,
It's
dude.
gross.
Like vomit-inducing.
I've even you drive past them and you with the right
Yes.
wind you can just smell them.
Oh,
Nasty.
it's terrible. A few of the foot. I can't. Well, you call them feet. A few of the feet.
The
soldiers.
feet.
Yeah.
Foots.
Feet,
When there's more than
soldier.
one.
I don't know.
Footsies.
Multiple footsies.
Footsie soldiers.
Multiple footsies rendezvous at the junkyard. This is
The way
the
they
new-
go, they play footsie half the time. Way
the
they
new,
fight.
The new bad guy headquarters is in a junkyard somewhere, And so they're all like out of breath, which makes me think it was really recent, right? Oh, they told, guys, we were supposed to
What was at the back corner of the landfill where that was?
We were supposed to rendezvous
Yeah,
here.
Shredder was supposed to climb up. He kept getting buried by garbage. Finally got to the top, poked his hand, got his hand punched through, and made it to the back corner of the landfill where they set up new headquarters.
The problem is, though, it looks like they've done a lot of work to the place with trash.
Yeah, they like
tires
cleaned it
and
up,
tin.
built walls.
A huge wall,
Yeah.
like a house.
I felt like American Ninja 3.
Yes, where
That's
they
what it
were
looks like.
when he's building a sword on the grinder over there.
Yeah.
Right? It was just like that. That's a great call. But we also see that Tatsu is also there. He survived the first one, and he still sucks. He just was
does.
like, I am the boss now, and he freaking chops a sawhorse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the boss for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in walks Shredder. He's
chops
like, I
a
challenge
sawhorse.
you to a duel.
Because he couldn't chop any necks anymore and kill dudes.
Couldn't do it. All he could do. Are we allowed to abuse sawhorses?
No, yes.
Check the studio. Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
I
right
think
here.
the requirement was, Tatsu had to walk in and immediately get his balls castrated before he could continue on in the movie.
Yeah, he was so good in the first one. He was such a
Yeah.
tough villain. And then Shredder's like, all right, well, you're going to just play second fiddle to me now.
He
Yeah, because I
definitely-
fill out my uniform a little bit better in this movie.
Yeah.
Still not great, but
Oh, I was just gonna say he definitely soiled himself when Shredder came in, though.
Yeah, he did.
So that was approved.
That was
Like, he
approved.
can have
Yeah.
diarrhea in his
yes,
pants. That's
yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
Shredder's
Just don't
like-
show it on camera.
They're like, what now, master? And Shredder's like, there is only one thing. And I wanted one of the guys to be like, a shower. Revenge.
Couple of the footy guys in the back just going,
Dude.
man, did you smell
Bro,
Shredder?
Shredder reeks.
Don't say anything to me.
Don't you see a thing?
Shredder's been in that 2-week-old pizza out there. Just
Bro had to reek coming into that
Oh,
place,
you know he
right?
did.
Don't tell me Shredder snuck up on Tatsu or anybody, right?
That would have
They're
been
all like, oh,
but they might have been nose blind because their new headquarters is in a landfill now.
Yeah,
apparently.
junkyard, yeah.
the same guy, though, who's going, did you smell Shredder, would have been the guy in the first one who's like, did you say turtles?
That's right. Did he say, remember that? These turtles. And no one blinked an eye. It was just like, yeah, okay, cool.
What about all the new guys to the foot? Would they have known the turtles?
No, because there's only, it looks like 6, 7, 8 soldiers that made it.
Yeah, are there
Yeah,
like
last
pamphlets being handed out? Like,
Yeah.
here's the guys we're against.
There's a bunch of tough dudes hanging around in New York waiting
Yeah.
for an audition, okay?
They're just in line
We'll
waiting.
do it.
Eating pizza.
It cuts to a live, April doing a live news report. And she's like, here's a bunch of scientists. And you know they are because they're passing test tubes back and forth to
Yes,
each
and
other.
they have lab coats on.
So, well, science stuff, yes.
Yes. This is the science stuff we were doing.
Everybody got that?
Yeah, right. He's Miss Dr. Scientist, will you come and do an interview with the news?
Yes, let me know if I'm rambling too much or not.
This is live.
Yeah, the minute you opened your mouth, you were rambling too much.
And this is an expo dump to set up the ooze, right?
We definitely didn't dump anything bad out here.
No, we're cleaning up toxic
Don't walk
waste.
over there. Don't look at the dandelions.
We're cleaning up toxic waste that
We have a
definitely didn't
dandelions
cause any
garden
damage
over
to
there.
anything.
Please don't look.
Yeah, just sprayed it.
He gives an interview. Basically, they've got some toxic waste they're cleaning up or whatever. They're presenting themselves as good dudes. But yeah, around the corner, around one of these hills, there are some massive, gigantic dandelions.
Yes.
Have been mutated because of this ooze or this
Right.
toxic waste or whatever. And so they're like, oh my gosh, look at these giant dandelions. April's got
We better not tell anybody, but we better bring them over here. But I'll snap it off and carry it with me out to the newscast.
that's a great point.
Yeah, right where they were filming.
The
yeah.
hell is that?
Get that live.
Is that
What
a
is that?
dandelion?
Quick, get the camera back on.
Speaking of camera boys, so Freddie the camera boy, April's little camera boy,
Yeah.
gets curious and he sneaks off back where the dandelions
And you think
are.
he's like being a good guy.
Like
You don't
he's
know he's a bad guy. at
an
this point,
investigative reporter. Or
Yeah.
whatever. But right. We know very quickly that he's a foot soldier.
Sure.
He goes back by the dandelions and he breaks one off and he's even more excited about it, right? And he's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, how awesome this is going to be to blow off the things when you know, when it turns. Do you know what I mean? And he runs off into like the woods.
Right.
Like he's just like, whoa, like through the hills.
We gotta
He's
get
so
some of this.
excited he got a dandelion. He hands it to Shredder, and Shredder's like rubbing it on his cheeks. Now my cheeks are yellow.
He's gonna bring it to his mom.
Happy Mother's Day. It's
You ever-
January.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, everyone gave their mom dandelions at some point, right? Come on.
Oh, great. These will be done in 3 hours.
He takes it to Shredder. That's how we find out he works for the Foot, right?
Yeah.
And Shredder's like, "Yo, man." That's not how he talks. We are going to make something so sweet with this.
Yo.
Yeah.
We will make the dandelion wine.
He almost sounds like he's going to be like on a surf shop or something. Rip some waves.
I'm gonna shred so hard.
Oh,
Have you seen the new
Racket.
Jackass? That was awesome.
That's a good one.
Yes. All right, we go back to April's apartment and I just did it now. We go back to April's apartment and Splinter is still talking.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, only this time he's on the roof.
I have kept this canister in my robe for 15 years.
I was really nervous when he started moving that robe.
I have something to show you.
That's how I got the name Splinter. That's
Yeah.
mighty big wood you got there, mister.
He's sitting crotch high to the Ninja Turtles. And he just whips his robe open. They're like, whoa!
Whoa, glass canister.
so has he just been carrying that on him because they left
he's-
the sewer
it's
in the
like,
last movie?
I was lucky to not impale myself on this glass canister for the last 15 years.
While I was fighting Shredder in the last movie.
That's actually why his voice sounds like that. He keeps stabbing himself in the stomach.
It's him grunting because he's bleeding out. Oh, just so much. I love you guys.
The city could be in grave danger, he says.
Ow.
Right?
And you guys are not being silent enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
The turtles are crappy ninjas. Can we just say that right now? They're not very good ninjas.
Well, they're
No.
turtles.
They only have 3 fingers, to be fair.
That's true. So ultimately, they want the turtles to go to the science lab. So we cut to the science lab, which is where this doctor scientist guy, whatever his name, Dr. Perry. I think it's
Yeah, Dr. Perry.
Dr.
you.
Bad.
Doctor, yeah.
Dr. Bad Perry.
Dr. Doolittle.
Dr. Perry's lab. The turtles get on the roof. They sneak in. They're like, "Oh man, bodacious! It's like video games in real life, man. Where do I put the quarter, dude?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're doing
You
the
know,
turtle
jokes.
thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't do a good
Yeah.
turtle impression.
No,
but
it was pretty good.
That's fine.
That's what they're
was a good
essentially
Yeah.
doing, right?
I mean, it's better than Leo through this whole movie.
Oh, Leo's the
Leo's
worst.
He's
Terrible.
annoying. Like,
Is
okay,
anybody's
so he
favorite
didn't-
turtle Leonardo?
It was
Never.
mine in the cartoon.
Really?
I enjoyed Leo because he was the leader, but he was more of a leader in the cartoon. The first one,
That's true.
he was an empty shell. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then- no pun intended.
No,
and
yeah.
then and then
But pun awarded.
But a point. Yeah, thank you. And then in this one, it was like, all right, well, we didn't do much with Leo. What are we gonna do? Let's make him annoying. Okay, great. Like
That's something.
Just a whiner all the time.
He does.
Man, what are you doing? Why are you guys? Oh, nobody listens to me. That's because you suck, Leo, in this movie.
And one of the 4 turtles is recast as well. I should say this is Donatello no longer sounds like Corey Feldman.
No.
Because Corey Feldman was in rehab or had just finished rehab and they thought it'd be negative publicity for the movie. So they didn't give him his job back. But they did
Dang.
for the 3rd one. They let Corey Feldman come back and be Donatello in part 3
Well, he was probably clean and sober
Yeah.
and better up then.
at that point. So, but yeah, you're right. Leonardo sucks. We all agree? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Sure.
Agreed.
And I feel like Raph was underused in
And
this
let
one
it be
as well.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raph was on the same arc as he was in the first one, too.
That's just
though.
Raph, though.
Yeah.
It
I don't.
is.
Yeah.
That's who the
But
character
it was like the
is. but
storyline was the same. It just
They like
a-
tied him up for most of the movie,
Yeah,
so it was
right.
kind of like Donatello's time to shine in this one.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
more of a Donatello movie.
Speaking of Donatello, he sits down at Dr. Scientist's science computer and he's like, "I'm going to hack the mainframe," and cracks all 3 of his fingers and tries to hack the computer.
yeah,
You know what he
Did a
has
hell
to
of a
do?
job
Press
typing.
down on the keyboard.
you're gonna have a hell of a time typing.
You're right. He just has to go down, 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 down. But his fingers are so fat.
Yeah.
He's like,
He's
sorry.
like hitting
trick with
8
hacking
keys at
Graham.
once. Yeah.
He needs a giant keyboard.
He's like,
That would've
sorry,
been
I got
perfect.
fat index
If he
fingers.
pulled a keyboard out from behind his back instead of a stick
Yes.
or whatever, he's got a
Yeah,
keyboard.
what's that damn phone with the big ass numbers on it? That's what
That my
Donatello-
arthritic grandma uses.
Yeah, that's the kind of keyboard Donatello needed, just so he could use his fat fingers to.
Grandma's fingers stopped working.
Crack
She had
the
to like
yeah.
knuckle the numbers
Right,
they got out of that
exactly.
big thing. Yeah. All right. He fails at hacking the mainframe, and the Foot shows up. And they all pour in. You know.
Sure.
And here's Tatsu.
One vial left.
Tatsu's got the one giant vial of ooze that's
Yes.
left. and he holds it
They're
out.
like, get it. Yeah.
Right. But I'm thinking
Why
they're
are
going to
they
do the
there if they have the vial? Why don't they just leave?
right. They're just waiting around
Yeah.
to get
For
kicked
the
in
turtles to
face.
fight
Right.
them, yeah.
What if the turtles show up and we can?
They're
have them steal
contractually
from us?
obligated to kick so many foot soldiers in the face per movie, so that's why they had to stop. And that's
know-
why Tatsu's just there with this, like, "Urgh."
I know the trope. I know the action movie trope where bad guys attack one at a time, and
Sure.
that definitely was employed in the last one, and it's employed here again.
Yes.
And I get it; it's part of action movies. But there was a whole line of foot soldiers up on the ledge that were just doing the Mortal Kombat pre-fight bounce through the entire fight, where their friends getting beat up right in front of them, and they're just like,
They're just like back in the crowd.
They're just-
like what was that mini-sode we did? Kung Fury.
Like, Liu Kang
just in
does
the
this.
background. Just
and they're just waiting to fight.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man!
it's like, you're up.
Move around and at least make it look like you're
Some
gonna
are
try
like
and
pointing, and they're doing like stances, pointing again. And you're like, what is that guy pointing at? What is over there?
Sub-Zero, you're in. Let's go.
That
Tag
was
team.
something I was going to mention in the first fight scene.
Yes.
Was the background? There's fighting happening, but it's not a turtle fighting with foot soldiers.
No, it was dudes fighting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds of weird stuff
It was wild.
in the background. And Tatsu, through this whole fight, is just standing,
just standing there.
with his arms
Yeah.
folded. At one point, Raph is right next to him trying to chuck the ooze like football
And he's
style.
like, I'm not touching
and
it.
he just stands there and watches
My
him.
job is to catch this canister and hold it out again for a second time.
Right.
That's all I need to do.
All I get
And then
paid
leave.
for.
And then smoke grenade.
And Ninja Vanish, he does the same pose, Ninja
Yeah.
Vanish. Why didn't you just do that at the start?
Yeah.
Ninja Vanish before the turtles get there.
Which is also fantastic because later on they do the sorry, I'm stuttering. The smoke grenade again,
Yes.
and Raph
Right.
picks all the bells off, but yet they don't do anything.
That's why they didn't leave before the turtles got there. Tatsu is like, I won't get to do Ninja Vanish if they're not here. Like he waited for them to get here
Right.
so he could do Ninja Vanish.
I brought the smoke grenade.
I
so
brought
I kind of want
the
to use
smoke
it.
We have to use them.
You're right, though. He should have. They show later they can operate and smoke, no problem.
Yeah. And then
right off
here
of
the
the
turtles are like, oh,
Speaking of people
Right, like they just stepped out of a bar.
that
Yeah.
couldn't operate at all, is the actors in the suits. I was reading about this. It was apparently was worse in the second one than the first one.
Yeah.
They had these slits under the eyes that the actors could see underneath.
Yeah, right in
And
the
it was
fold.
but that's still another like 6 inches away from their actual eyeballs, so it's not flush. And so they couldn't see a dang thing.
yeah, it was like depth perception was off. Yeah.
So that's why you see in this fight, especially, but in all of them, you never see a foot soldier strike a turtle because they would never know or see it coming.
Yeah.
So all the turtles are doing is they're doing the fight choreography, and it was up, and when they're punching or kicking, they don't even know if a soldier is going to be there. It was the foot guys, the actor's job to throw themselves in front of the kicks and punches to make it look like that was a planned attack.
Fight,
And so they're
sure.
literally, sometimes you can really tell, diving into
No,
punches
yeah,
and
it
into
definitely
kicks.
looked like they were diving into these
Because they're
punches
just
and
throwing
kicks.
punches and kicks at the air because they can't see anything.
I will say their movement looked. The turtles themselves' movement though looked better in this one, I think, than the first one.
But
Yes.
but for the fight scenes, they couldn't see what the hell they were
Well, it
doing.
looks like
Right.
they
That's crazy.
shredded about, no pun intended again, the about 20 pounds off the turtle suits.
Yeah.
They're a
So
lot
they weren't
thinner.
nearly as,
Yeah.
yeah.
These guys are just taking dives into their punches. And I immediately thought of, Steven Seagal will do those like martial arts demonstrations where he will like, guys will run at him and he'll just like whip his hand and they'll fly, go flying and just
Yes.
throw themselves into
Sure.
his punches and kicks. And I just wanted to see Seagal watching this going, oh, sure, it's cool when they do it, but when I do it, I'm the biggest asshole of all time.
I could have been a turtle. I invented the Ninja Turtles.
They're doing the Seagal thing, basically.
Yeah.
Is because his demonstrations where he's in his fat bathrobe and he's like in front of the Russian Tsar or whatever, and it just has 9 different stuntmen running at him. And when he gets there, he goes like one of these,
he
and they
like does
fly
the flip.
10 feet in the
Yeah.
air.
It's like he's on a pulley system.
Yes,
Yeah.
But he's in an office chair.
you're right.
You know, the turtles can never work in an office
Why is that?
because they don't know how to operate the shredder.
Rack them.
All right, so the turtles after they get doused with ninja smoke and like I
Yeah.
can't see.
Walking out a bar at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
They go back to April's and they're like, time to move back to the sewer, basically, right? They're like, we got to go find a new
After they
hideout.
just got done saying they weren't going to move because they hadn't found a place yet.
Right, but now they're just going to go look for one somewhere.
Yeah, they called up their, Century 21 agent and asked them for some sewer. What's the finest sewer dwellings you got on listed right now? And
Yes.
let's go take a look. Set it up.
So the reason they give to her why they haven't moved in the first place originally, which we didn't cover, but
Yeah.
it's fine. Is because they can't find a place to rent, and the Foot knows where they used to live,
Right.
so it wouldn't be safe. Now that the Foot's back, they're like, whoa, this isn't safe for April's.
Yeah.
Now we got to move. And you're like,
But they don't know you're there.
yeah, A, they don't know
exactly.
you're there, and B, why weren't you concerned about April's safety in the first place? Because you're ninjaing still, I'm guessing,
Right.
doing some sort of crime fighting. So
Yeah. I
you're
would
imagine.
not worried that anyone's going to find
They're
out where you
busting
are?
toy store robberies.
Right.
Yeah.
They're meeting Daredevil up on the rooftops.
They're drawing gasoline D's in the ground for him.
Donatello,
see.
Raphael.
Daredevil doesn't even know they're turtles, though. So.
That's why they're friends with him. They feel
They
like
don't
they're-
get judged.
I'm a real boy when I'm with Daredevil.
A real boy.
Walks in, he's like, "These are my friends," and I'm like, "What the hell?"
They go to put his arm around him, and all of a sudden Daredevil's like, "What the? Are you a hunchback? What is going on back here?" Oh, that's my shell.
Why is it so cold?
They go to April's. They're packing up their stuff, and Michelangelo pulls a poster off of a door, and he's like, "Oh, Pauline, I'm going to take care of you," and he's going to pack her away. And I'm just like, "Yo, that poster looks handled." Okay, that's all. I mean, it was.
There's been a lot of turtle wax used.
All I'm saying, dude. That was all wrinkly. That poster, it had definitely been not just hanging there on the wall.
Turtle wax is expensive.
It is, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of shell polishing.
Kino shows up at the apartment, okay, with some pizza.
Yes.
And he comes in to her house because pizza
This
guys just walk
Yeah,
in.
he rings
Guy
the doorbell.
is the
Yeah.
worst ever.
Not a big fan of Prince
He
Tarn.
walks in and he's like, "Oh, I just figured I'd bring you some pizza because, let me just let myself in and look around and, is there a turtle over there?"
Door was unlocked. I figured I'd just let myself in.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
the
That
worst.
It's terrible. And the turtle. Again, the turtles are crappy ninjas. He finds the pizza boy finds him in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
And it goes back to the Batman trope. I think we kind of made a joke about that in Mummerman because it was the whole you can hide, but you're never going to see him hide.
I can see your toe.
Yeah, no. Oh, there's his toe right
he
there
did a
underneath
pretty
a changing sheet. I don't know what that was.
I don't know. But
A folding wall.
the turtles come out. He stomps on Raph's foot and he's like, "Oh, let me hurt him."
I'm gonna kill this guy. Who is this guy? I'm gonna. Oh, it's this kid again. Yeah.
Raphael. And then Splinter comes down. And he's like, "Now it is time for me to tell you our backstory." And I'm like, "Why are we roping Pizza Boy in to
And
the gang?"
My
Right.
favorite part. Kino sees 4 turtles. Totally cool. I'm high on adrenaline. I'm sitting in a garbage can. But
Yeah.
the moment I see a talking rat,
He passes
I'm
out.
fainting. I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
That
You're right.
pushed him over the edge.
I'm not tough enough to handle a talking rat.
No.
4 talking turtles, totally cool.
He was not ready to handle it.
Maybe he had a bad experience with a rat in an alley one time delivering pizzas.
Yeah.
He went into PTSD. just passed out.
Splinter starts telling him their whole story. Like, why? They don't know this kid. All he did was show up with some pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
How many DoorDash drivers do you think he's told this story to? That's what I want to know. Everyone in the city actually knows.
Everyone knows about the turtles,
Like, yeah, we know.
except for the police.
Don't order pizza.
Back at Bad Guy HQ in the junkyard, you don't know what they found yet. They've penned 2 animals and tried. These are the most vicious animals you could find.
Yes.
I was just waiting for the reveal.
Yeah.
See how stupid it was going to be.
Right, and it's a wolf and a snapping turtle. We find out, but I wish it would have been like a gerbil and a squirrel or something.
That would have been on brand for
I
this
wanted
movie.
one of them to be a bunny.
It's got really sharp,
look at that.
bitey teeth.
It's Usagi Yojimbo. Sorry,
It's
that's
not just a
toy
bunny.
reference.
Look at the bones. Would have been awesome. They start pumping ooze into the cage. Basically, they've got like a hose hooked up to the canister.
Yeah.
Which is great that they know how to do this.
Right. This
I'm
is
glad
Yeah.
they know how to
Well,
dose this.
all
so-
this booger green stuff starts going through the hose.
The reason they know is they kidnap
Oh,
the
that's
doctor
right.
and
Yeah.
they force him to do it. They have one canister. If I'm the doctor or the whatever,
right.
put something in to mess up the solution so it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
It's one canister.
Well, that's
Everything else
kind of
is-
how I
Waste
took it
somehow.
because they ended up not being smart.
Right.
Well, they're babies, though,
Right.
Which the
Yeah, they were
Ninja Turtles
babies.
have been there for 15 years.
Well,
so
right, but they were
kinda makes
babies like little, and now
That's a good
he's
point.
like big, but they have the mentality of baby.
Yeah, which we're
Yeah.
getting to here. So,
Yeah.
so it cuts back for a second back to the sewer where the turtles are looking for a new home, and Raph's gonna Raph. So Raph is immediately like, "We shouldn't be down here while the foot's up there," and so I'm out here. And so he goes rogue because it's Raphael, and that's what he does in
And
the
that's
movies.
Leo number 16 where he comes in. He's like, "Boom, Raph! Oh, he's gone. Screw him. We don't need him."
That's right, man.
Yeah.
And they find an abandoned subway tunnel.
Yeah, Mikey just falls. They say it'd be some kind of idiot to just
Yeah.
stumble upon something and then whoop, he falls through like
There you go.
a tube or a manhole cover or something and then down into the
Yeah.
new lair.
That still has power.
Yes.
Magic.
Yeah.
It still has
and
power.
a payphone.
Well, we talked about this in Daredevil.
And a payphone. Not only a payphone, but a payphone you can walk around with like it's a
Yeah.
cordless phone.
Got that long cord. He's walking
Right.
through the kitchen.
Just wrapping himself
Hey,
up in it.
April.
But again, that's another great part because we were talking about that in Elektra, like who paid the bills all those many years. It's
Right.
just, there's power on down there.
power on
Someone
down
just
there.
threw the breaker off, and it's been off for look like 80 years.
Well, and I love that it's right there.
Right.
There's not like a panel
No,
or
it's
a
just-
box. It's just Donatello walks down. He's
Power.
like, "Hey, this looks like. Is this one of those
let's flip that.
Frankenstein
Let's see what- yeah.
switches?"
right there on the platform where people would be waiting for the streetcars, the
Yeah.
power that runs the whole thing.
And
Yeah,
not,
absolutely.
And not one crackhead on a dirty mattress.
no, not
Now
one.
clean
Not
down
one.
there.
It's pretty clean other than the spider webs.
Yeah.
They should have had when he threw the breaker, like freaking Frankenstein, like,
Right. Or a million rats and cockroaches scurrying
just
that'd have been
around.
perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's underneath Manhattan.
It's
Yeah.
in the
It's gonna
sewer.
be nasty.
There's no way there's not a rat or a cockroach in that place. There's just no way.
Splinter's like, "That's my cousin."
100. Minimum 100 of them.
Is my family.
I am again finally among my people. Again, back to Bad Guy HQ. This is where they've been growing these animals, and Shredder's like, remove the bar. And even like, we don't see them yet, but he removes the bar and opens up, and he just cuts to Tatsu's face, and he looks like he's seen some devil shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? He's just like,
I don't want to go in there.
and it's this big giant snapping turtle, and the monster from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Which is
Instead of Bebop and Rocksteady.
Why not just talk about it now?
Okay.
Because everybody as a kid
Wanted it to be
wanted it to
Bebop
be
and
them.
Rocksteady.
And
Absolutely.
every single one of us, as soon as it finally cut to them, we're like,
Like,
what?
WTF, bro?
What is this?
Who?
I
Yep.
have no reference. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay. There's two characters on the cartoon that were, it was a warthog and a rhino, right?
yeah.
Yep.
That was Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yep.
And it's like they're big, they're like probably most famous villains after Shredder.
And anybody who's a fan of the show, anyone who watched it growing up, we watched the cartoons first.
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing with Masters of the Universe. You're watching this and you're going, this isn't He-Man. This isn't what I'm watching. And so all of a sudden you're like, you are excited because you're thinking, again, no reveal of the animals beforehand. Didn't know it was a snapping turtle and a wolf. So we're like, it's gonna be Bebop and Rocksteady. And when that scene drops, you're like, no,
It's so
I'm done.
disappointing.
I'm angry. I'm upset. As a 12-year-old, you're like,
Yeah.
all right,
Now-
I guess.
now-
but
and-
now it's just an excuse
Yeah.
to sell some toys,
Right.
some new toys.
Yeah.
Now, Toka and Razor are their names.
Yes.
Eventually became popular and eventually got put years later into the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
In like season 7.
Right.
Yeah.
But everyone was disappointed when this happened. But apparently it was Laird and Eastman's fault.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were like, they didn't want it to be like the cartoon at all. They wanted it to follow the graphic novel.
Yeah.
And so they didn't want cartoon references. And at the same time, the studio and the director wanted it to be more like the cartoons. There was like this tug of war between the two of them,
Right.
the creators of Ninja Turtles that were consulting on it. And so they wanted non-cartoon characters, which is how you ended up with a snapping turtle and a wolf.
Yeah.
But the tone of the movie is more like the cartoon, so it ends up being this weird middle place. That's
Well, it
not,
almost looked like the ogres too
Yeah.
from Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
it's not pleasing. It doesn't end
did.
up being pleasing for anybody,
Right.
Because it's not dark enough for the dark comic book fans, and it's not exactly like the
Cartoony
cartoon
enough, yeah.
for the cartoon kids because there's no Bebop and Rocksteady.
Right.
Right.
And so you're just left with people going, no, okay.
Whatever, fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, they come out and they're idiots, right? Like, "Dad," oh, they first they go, "Mama," Like to
Well, yeah,
Shredder.
he goes, I am your master. And Razor goes, meh, 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 mama. And he's like,
Yeah, babies.
oh, that's great. Babies. Yeah.
Shredder, great line reading there. And Shredder's basically like toss him in a bag in the river, like he does.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
he's like, and
kill
then the
them.
scientist
There's
talks
a
him into
dumpster out
keeping him.
back.
he wanted to basket case him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Is exactly what they wanted to do. But they realized that when they pick up like a skid steer or something, right? I don't remember what it was exactly.
Yeah, they pick up like the back end of a Buick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they are babies, but they are strong. We will keep them.
Yeah, and they will serve a different purpose.
Right.
Maybe I'll keep them, yeah.
Cut to underneath a bridge somewhere in New York. Oh, these tough, bunch of hard-looking street boys listening to Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, listening
Right?
to Vanilla Ice,
You know
getting ready
this-
to try out
Yeah.
for some play in Broadway.
That's what you would think, right? But no, they're there to possibly audition for The Foot. They're out there smoking menthols, right?
They got their Marlboros out there.
And a walking cliche comes up to that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you
What a-
guys want to come be part of this? You're
Yeah.
gonna have to come and pass a few of these tests.
You know, it was a grown up Toady from Christmas Story is what it was.
Yeah.
Scott
Yes.
Farkus's
Oh my
Toady.
God,
Same
yes.
hat, same haircut.
and he talks like
No
a
Scott
Brooklyn
Farkas.
cliche.
I was gonna say, it looked
Hey,
like,
yo, hey.
That-
I was gonna say, it looked like John Travolta from Grease.
He did, he wanted to be that
Yeah.
guy. Looked in his mirror that morning and it was like, oh yeah, that's Danny Zuko.
The ladies
right
are
there.
gonna get it.
That's right.
Hey, check out my hair.
And did you see who one of the freaking recruits was? It was Michael J. White. Freaking Black Dynamite was one of the guys.
No way. Was it?
Was one of the dudes. He had a red and white shirt on.
I gotta go back and
was
watch.
standing there, and I was like, "That's Black Dynamite."
I
He's
love
probably
Black
there
Dynamite.
making sure no one's trying to sell drugs in his community.
Is that movie on? Is that going to be on this?
It's one of my
I love
quick
it.
sidetrack. One of my favorite things is the drug dealer scene where they're all sitting around a table
Yes.
and they all kind of keep peace with Black Dynamite. Black Dynamite's finally had enough. He kicks in the door. I just want to let you know that I'm declaring war on anybody who sells drugs in my community. And the guy goes, but Black Dynamite, I sell drugs in the community. Have you seen Black Dynamite?
No.
It's a good
go
movie.
see it. It's
That's
a
fun.
spoof movie.
Gotcha.
Well, but
Of like
a
70s, like
blaxploitation.
Sounds kind of like a Undercover Brother, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's similar.
dude.
It's on the
good
lines
stuff.
of that.
But yeah, I was so happy to see a very young Michael J. White. Spawn
Yes,
was
Spawn.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
played Spawn
Yes.
was there.
Great first movie on that one too.
Sure. Anyway, Kino was there to fake join the Foot to figure out where headquarters.
Yeah.
This is where Raph had gone rogue to take him to do this.
Right.
Yep.
And so Raph goes inside of this broken down warehouse or whatever to watch these tests that they're putting Kino through.
Can I
And
add something real quick?
Please.
I love that Raph is hiding just behind a car. Like playing out of sight. And obviously they're ninjas.
No.
So I get that. But I do think it's really funny that the line starts to leave.
Yeah.
And he goes back to talk to Raph, and Raph's just like whoop, pops out from behind a truck.
All right, now do the. I'm like, couldn't you have this conversation before?
Yeah, you should have done it before and then have him walk up to the
Yeah.
people. It would have made
Right.
much more sense.
Make sure to do the plan we talked about before, and let me recap it quick.
Right.
Just so you know what's going to happen. You got that?
Raph watches the tests inside, and one of them is right there. Like, all right, they've got a dummy with all these bells on it.
Yes.
Okay, and so he's like, the foot soldier's like, you've got to remove these bells. You've got to
Without
remove the
making any
bells
sound, yeah.
without making a sound. If I hear a single jingle bell, you're out.
Yeah.
And you also have to do this in under smoke and with a blindfold and whatever. Okay, I'm like the whole thing.
Sure.
Make it as hard as possible.
Yeah, he throws
So,
the smoke grenade.
Smoke grenade down, silent, remove all the bells. And I'm like, okay, no disrespect to the Foot, but I've watched all you guys in action. Not one of you idiots has passed this bell test.
No,
Not
Right.
none of
Nah.
you.
Not one.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that's happened.
No.
But Raph jumps out, helps him, grabs them all. And so when the smoke clears, Kino's just
Just
standing there.
got like 1,000
All
bells.
the bells.
Like,
More bells than were on the
is
guy.
this enough?
Right? Raph went to the store and brought more
Yeah,
bells.
Nobody questioned. Hold on. Count those bells. How many do we have on there? And you've got how many?
Right. It's ridiculous. So
I
Kino,
want to see the foot soldier that had to put the bells on the suit. Just like,
oh man,
what's your job today? I got to put stupid bells on this suit.
gotta reload the bells.
Dumb. I hate
It'd
this.
be after every time, too.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Well,
the guy-
usually the one guy probably pulls like 4 or 5 off.
Yeah.
He's like, I just got to put a 5 on today. But
the guy leading the thing would be like, and you have to put him back on silently in smoke.
It's the same guy that has
jingle.
it's the same guy that has to carry those axes around during the battles and
right.
stuff, right? He's on bell duty.
Well, that's what they had to do with them because there was no axes in this movie because there couldn't be. So
Right.
they had to reassign that guy to bell duty.
And you guys notice in a few of these scenes that really chunky foot soldier?
Yeah.
Yes.
You see that guy?
Yeah, he's huge.
He was in the science lab too.
Yeah.
And he was in this
I
one.
didn't know.
There's a foot soldier that's been eating at Subway a little too much, or needs to be eating at Subway a little more.
Yeah.
Get on the Jared diet
Less
this
pizza, more
yeah.
Subway. Yeah.
dude was hanging over his foot belt a little bit. Okay, that's all I'm saying. They lead Raph to the HQ in the junkyard, and because they're crappy ninjas, you know, Kino and Raph get caught immediately.
They're not even sneaking through. They're literally
No.
just walking
They just
broad
walk in.
daylight through and just like, here we are to go catch the foot.
They walk
Yeah.
like that too.
Yeah, arms just swing.
Yeah.
He tells Kino to run and get the rest of the turtles, and so Kino's able to kick a few guys in the face, but pretty much takes off, leaving Raph to take on the entire foot for the second movie in a row.
And they finally attack more than one-on-one.
Right.
Well, yeah, Tatsu walks up and he's like, huh? And he catches both of them. They're
Right.
like, uh-oh, we've been caught. And then Raph does the whole like, hey, I'm looking for a muffler for an
That's right.
87 Buick. And then he's like, you
This
got
scene's
something like that?
More proof of why Raphael is the best turtle. I'm not taking any questions on this. But he's always
Always on point.
on point. He's always taking on like
On
20,
point.
30 dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
On point with his size.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
That was not. No.
That was, it's all right.
It snuck in.
But he's always taking on like 30 dudes by himself. I think I probably said it in the last one, but Raph's the best. I
We
love
know,
he was great.
James.
Yeah.
We know.
Well, and that's why I said I even thought he was underused in this one.
That's why when Fortnite had the Ninja Turtles out, I only bought Raph.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just got Raph.
That's it.
You're not a true fan.
Tatsu is
I got all 4.
like you said, Tatsu is there. Right?
Never used
Yeah.
the 3.
Tatsu's there.
Yes.
But again, he does nothing.
Yep. He's another one that's underused in this
I
movie.
think he's got PTSD from the golf club incident. Because ever since
With
Casey
Casey
Jones
Jones?
caved his face in with a 9-iron,
He's like, I'm done.
he hasn't done anything.
I'm not working in the field. I'm an office guy now. Yeah.
He just stands there.
He follows the knife rule. He's not within 21 feet.
The turtles should just all carry golf clubs on themselves,
Right.
You know, just to scare Tatsu away. He goes and gets the turtles. Nothing of note happens essentially until the turtles get back to the junkyard, and they sneak in to rescue Raph, who's tied to a pole.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're sneaking in. It's pretty quiet out here.
Oh, come on. That's one of my
too
favorite
quiet.
jokes through the whole thing, though. Go
little too
ahead.
quiet.
Continue on.
And then there's only two patrolling soldiers. This is the only time a turtle uses his weapon. Donatello
Yep.
comes up and bonks him on the
Knock,
head
knock.
with his bow.
Yeah.
Donk, donk. They knock out. He goes, that was easy.
Little too easy.
And then they get around the cars and they see, like, look, it's Raph.
A little too Raph. And again, even Leo was like, oh, Mike, you and your
come on,
dumb
man.
jokes.
So the three of them, like Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion
Yeah.
and the Tin Man sneak over,
Yeah.
sneak over, and the lights all come on, and here's a big ambush, and they get lifted into the air. Did you not see the giant net on the ground?
No, you can't
that,
feel
it
it.
was like they were looking, I'll forget which one it was, looking at the, like, I was watching it. Oh, I'd plan a trap right about now.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, whoop, up in the net.
But the net lifts them up from underneath.
Well, I love that he has a watch underneath his cool, like, wrist bandana. He's just like, flink. Oh, yeah, look at that. What time it is?
It's,
how about
it's
that?
trap o'clock.
A net lifts them up into the air,
Yes.
and like you said, if only someone had a sharpened blade
They could have cut the
to be able
rope
to
out.
cut the rope.
If only.
Instead, they're being moved over. They got like a bunch of sharpened Buick bumpers.
Yeah.
like that's what, instead of Dudikoff making a sword, they were sharpening bumpers,
Bumpers,
from,
yeah.
from cars.
How do you think he made the sword in the other movie?
It took them a long time to get the turtles over it because Tatsu doesn't know how to drive a backhoe. do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
like maybe that's what he was doing all this time while Shredder was
didn't
gone.
know.
He was getting his license for
he's like
backhoe.
pulling levers inside this excavator, and he doesn't know how to do, like, oh, sorry, sir, we killed the guy from Local 131, and so I have to drive the freaking excavator. We can't get it over.
I would have just loved to see it like whipping around and just.
there was
all
one-
the turtles are like sick and then.
There was because they're just on a scoop. What are those things called?
bucket?
The bucket.
bucket, yeah.
On the arm, and there was one time where it went over kind of the wrong way, and cuts back to Tatsu, who's like, "Whoa!" and like pulls it
Just
different.
like looking around, very confused.
I just wanted to turn
Yeah.
over to Shredder and just be like, I'm not forklift certified.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think you're rated on these things.
Heavy equipment operators everywhere are just turning over in their graves right now, watching Tatsu trying to operate
They're
this
getting
thing.
mad. That would have never happened.
You needed a union guy out there. They finally get him hovered over this thing, and Splinter comes in, cowabunga, and Robin Hoods them,
Oh, yeah.
arrow
Yeah.
through the rope.
I thought it was back to Jim Cotta again.
So Splinter can use a weapon,
Yeah.
no problem.
Well, he cut a rope with it.
Cut a rope.
He didn't
That's-
hurt
He's
anybody.
teaching children to go
But
shoot
then
arrows
again-
at ropes.
You
Yeah,
didn't see
that's
the
true.
guy that got it in the spleen, and the foot soldier was like, "Oh, good!" He like tumbled down the tires into the ground.
right.
That arrow went all the way to Jim Cotta.
Random arrow.
Maybe that's where it came from. It wasn't
That's
Splinter.
awesome.
It was just a Jim Cotta
That's such a
arrow.
good callback. And we get another super lame fight, guys. I don't know really what else to say about these fights with the foot because they're all kind of lamely choreographed and they're just spinning around. Foot soldiers are trying to dive into their feet and
They're
and
grabbing the bow staff, flipping themselves over.
Right.
Well, and I love that they left, and I might be jumping ahead, but I
No,
love
man.
that they leave. So, what was their plan? A, trap them, skewer them,
Yeah.
and then release Razor and Toka.
Yeah, because the plan here is to have them fight Razor and Toka.
But why then trap them?
Maybe
why,
tire him
why-
out a little. Or?
Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just very confused as to why. Okay, so we're
not-
planning on
Razor
dropping
and
them on-
Toka were a backup plan. Like if we
Yeah.
can't skewer them on the bumpers,
Then maybe we just
then
release
we'll
these two.
these
It's a
two.
lot of work for a backup plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they do release Razor and Toka, and the turtle's like, oh, crap.
Let's go
But-
one at a time.
Not really a whole lot happens there
No.
either.
No, because they go one at a time, just like
Just
they did
like
at Shredder
in the
in
first
one.
movie. Yeah.
When they went to try and fight Shredder. Right.
Yeah.
One at a time.
They didn't learn the lesson.
Well, and he's got like the slimy mouth, and then you got Toka with the spikes on the back.
Yeah.
And you never know their names. It was eventually, I think one of the turtles mentioned their names much later. It's like
Yeah.
because the reveal when they first came out, it's like, okay, do they have names? Who the hell are they?
Yeah,
you
like
don't even
wasn't
know
the
which
foot guy
one's
going,
which.
this is Toka and
Right.
Razor.
Right.
Okay?
All of a sudden they knew the names.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. It wasn't like,
got-
hey,
you got
this
Tur-
April O'Neil. Hey,
That's
that's Token
great.
Razor over here. Right? Hey, you're Token Razor, right?
Yeah, right?
James, you got Ninja Turtle fingers today.
I know. I hit them both.
We need some bigger pads over here for you to hit.
Oh,
Honestly.
good for you! Oh, I love that button. That's fantastic.
Here's what they're ultimately able to do. They're able to save Raph. They are able to save the scientist who was imprisoned there,
Yes.
Yep.
Dr. Perry, and they are able to find a manhole to the sewer in the middle of this landfill,
Yep.
which is very, very fortuitous for them.
Convenient.
And
Yes.
and turtles can
Convenient.
fit through the front of a Ford truck.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, they can. They all escape into the sewer, and I don't know if it's Toka or Razor. I
Toka.
don't care. It's Toka.
It
Toka,
doesn't matter.
yeah.
He jumps in, and he's too fat of a turtle.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
all those spikes.
But you have 80 million foot soldiers that could go after them still.
They could, but
Well, you got to get the
find
turtle
you
out.
got to
now.
get the
Right.
turtle out first.
right.
Yeah, that turtle's going to take a little while to get out.
Yeah,
least
because
like
you
5
saw
minutes.
how Tatsu was operating the lift, the
that's
crane. That's what they needed to lift him out. And
Like
they had to
Tatsu-
go get someone from Local 131 to actually operate the thing to get the turtle out of the sewer. And by then, the Ninja Turtles are long gone.
Can
So
you imagine if he just tried to drop the bucket and just smash it?
Just smashes him through, bends all his spikes.
Why another turtle? That's what I don't. I understand you want to pick two different animals. You don't want to do a rhino and a warthog, but why do another turtle
Yeah.
specifically?
It's a
That
different
seemed
turtle,
Or
though.
if,
like a weird.
It would have been
decision.
cool if they like mutated it or something. You
Why
know,
not like a bear?
right, or something.
yeah.
like I mean, it would have been cool if Toka was like a a porcupine mixed with a a turtle
Or that.
like
Something.
crossbreed them like the Wuzzles.
Yeah. What eats turtles? Why not use
Yeah,
something
what are
that
the turtle's
naturally
natural
eats
predators?
Wants to eat a
Eagles.
turtle.
An
Yeah.
eagle.
Eagles
Yeah.
eat turtles.
Eagle man. Oh wait,
Awesome.
He'd be picking them up.
I've got something for you.
Condor Man. Let's bring
Yeah.
in Condor Man. Condors eat turtles, right?
Dude, I saw a condor, an actual condor on TikTok the other day for the first. I was like,
Yeah.
that's what condors look like?
They're big ass birds.
Gigantic,
They're
freaking
huge.
vulture looking. I mean, it's like crazy necks. Yeah.
They got like
And then you
minimum
thought back to the
6 foot
movie and you're
wingspan.
like, this guy
Wingspan.
doesn't even look like a condor.
Yeah,
look like
no.
one at all.
Hate that movie.
Anyway, they're able to get out of there. Bye, guys. All right, they get the professor down into their lair. And you're like, all right, finally they're going to get some answers. Here we go. The secret of the ooze. It's what the name of the movie is. And here's the secret. The doctor says, we dropped one. That's literally the secret.
It's ooze that turned you into mutants. Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
That
Yeah,
was
and
it.
Donnie's
Cool.
pretty depressed about the
Yeah.
whole thing. He's like, man, I thought there was going to be some sort of cool explanation as to why we are and who we are. And
Splinter did have a cool line about that. I did
Did
write
he?
it down though. Yeah.
What did he say?
It was something like live, laugh, love. No.
The sunshine comes through the doorway when you're doing 10 backflips.
He was like
For being bad ninjas.
he basically was saying
Oh, my God.
it's not about where you come from, but he used some other term.
it's about where you've been.
But it's about
always dance like no one's watching.
You don't need to see where you were going, just where you've been.
he's just sitting in his girlfriend's apartment reading all the stuff on the walls. That's where he comes up with it.
Is it wine o'clock yet?
No bitching in my kitchen.
They always say, be a sweetie and wipe the seedy. What?
he frickin'
What does that have to
just
do with
walked
anything?
through TJ Maxx to get all his quotes.
Oh, my gosh. He doesn't actually know anything about anything.
I
But
was
he-
at Target the other day.
I saw a very good.
He's just
wise-
walking out with a bag full of like little signs that hang around the shop.
Yes.
Splender's out on Montauk at all the shops out there just picking up sayings for his turtles.
Gosh.
But he basically is saying it's not about your origin; it's about like what you make of your life.
Right.
It was a cool line.
No, I
just
thought
totally
that was cool.
made fun of it. So it was cool.
While all this is going on, they end up, the bad guys drop Toka and Razor off like on some street corner somewhere to draw the turtles out, like go
Yeah.
back some shop, basically. Which they do. They're pulling down telephone wires and lines and
Chewing
wrecking
on
cars.
electrical and
You know,
And
shocks going everywhere.
the next day, the cops are there, and it's the same cop from the first one,
Yes.
yep.
the chief of police.
Chief, same, yep.
And he's like, what the hell is going on down here? And April shows up, and April's like, you guys got to do something. I'm like, why is she going to the cops, first of all? Like, this doesn't seem like a reasonable thing to do.
Doesn't she know some heroes?
Right? And she even gets to the point where she goes, clearly you aren't the ones to handle this. He's like, that's our specialty or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
he says.
Right.
That's what we're really good at. And so,
Well, and I liked how she goes to him after he's done reporting, like, because he's talking on the news, and she goes to him, is like, off the record, can you tell me something? Da, da, da. And he's like, the only thing I say is on the record.
right. Yes.
Just kind of like, shut up.
Yeah.
At this point, Camera Boy nabs April,
Yes.
and we think maybe she's getting kidnapped, but she's not. He's just giving her a message, which was, tell those turtles to meet us by the playground after school because we're going to rumble, right? I mean, that's
Flagpole at 3 o'clock.
that's basically,
If they don't meet us out back behind the old schoolyard, then they're a poo-poo head.
that's right.
If they don't, we're sending Toka and Razor through every pizza shop in town.
Right, the Central Park, but yes, they basically said we're going to put them somewhere where there's more people,
Yeah.
right? And we're going to
And
destroy.
what are they going to do? They're going to pull down trees in Central Park because they didn't touch one person
No.
out on the street.
It's a impetus for them to meet them at the construction site, which
The
I'm like,
one construction site in New York City.
okay, it's like that other movie where they're like, meet us at the docks, right? Remember that? And it's
Yeah,
like, all right,
right.
well, there's freaking 400 docks in the port of LA.
You're over
No, it's
there?
A-Team is what it was. Yeah.
We're on our way. We're coming.
Meet us at the construction site. All right, fine. Finally, we're getting to the last showdown, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have this idea to cook up an anti-serum, right? Like if we can get them to take this anti-serum,
Yep.
the professor, doctor, scientist, or whatever his name is.
Well, and they're turtles cooking, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a slow cooker.
Frack them.
I apologize. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay. They're
You
trying
were
to
waiting for that one.
how are we going to get them to eat it, right? And
Yeah.
well, we put them in ice cubes or something. But ultimately, he's like, I've got an idea, and they put it inside of donuts.
Yeah.
Why not mix it into a pizza dough or something, or on top of a pizza, or
something.
something with pizza?
I thought that's what they were going to go with.
That's what I
Because
thought,
Mikey
too.
was like, I got the perfect
And they
idea.
still
And
use
then
ice cubes in the donuts.
Donuts seem random for sure.
Yeah, and
when
ice
those,
cubes.
Yeah, when
You're not
those
gonna
ice
notice
cubes
that?
have melted That would have been, by the time they got to it, that donut would have been so soggy from that ice cube melting in there.
Yeah. And they're not dummies. Razor and Toka would not have eaten a soggy donut.
It's traditional New York donut. I don't know if you know. The Boston's or the Boston cream have the cream inside.
Yeah.
New York donuts have ice cubes inside the middle of them. Okay.
They get real soggy.
All right.
Like real soggy.
You want the cream, you go to Boston.
If I want a soggy ice cube donut, I go to New York.
That's what's
I got
up.
it.
I thought
We do pizza here, not donuts.
We don't know what we're doing about donuts.
I didn't even think they were donuts at first. I thought it was bagels with cream cheese. That's what it looked like. And I was like,
might
oh,
as well
donut
have
and
been.
schmear. Okay.
Yeah, fine.
They got Jewish turtles. Shalom.
They pull up to these freaking the construction site.
I'm done.
They pull up to the construction site and they've got their box of donuts. And Donatello's like, "Is this gonna work?" And Mikey goes, "Is Schwarzenegger hard to spell?"
Best line in the movie.
Gotta love the Arnie call out there.
He's already making the movie better.
He's made the movie way better.
That's right.
At that point.
They'll drop his name at any point if we need to. They're sneaking in and they literally do the same thing, the same trope where they sneak in. It's too quiet, and then they all pop out again like it's like they literally do the same thing from the same scene they just had. They all pop out, and then Shredder and everyone is like, "All right, it's time to fight." He goes, "How?" First of all, they've got a freaking canister like this, and like, how do they have another full ass canister of ooze? Because they dumped all of it on the
Supposedly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't,
right.
yeah, unless the canister's green now.
That hose was like, like
That was a
full of
lot.
snot.
It was
what it looked like,
pumping
right?
it in.
And now here's Shredder with a giant ooze canister,
Yes.
Full.
full.
Maybe it's like baking soda and you only need it a little bit.
It just keeps adding water to it, and so it just gets more and more diluted.
Yeah.
After a while, all it'll do is grow you like a weird arm. Right.
Only
and then
one
after
of my
that,
spikes grew.
then after that, you get one spike and like in the worst place because he just keeps diluting it more and more and
What's
more.
with that thing on your head? Oh, sorry.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm not fully mutated.
They're gonna fight. They release Tokar and Razor again, and they all roll up. Here they come, and there's like, you forgot the traditional pre-fight donut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this entire movie is how everybody, all of the foot, even Toka and Razor, are like, "Oh yeah."
And Shredder.
Oh, yeah.
Even
Shredder's
Shredder's
like,
like,
is that?
Oh, yeah.
He's like looking through a pamphlet. Was this in the pamphlet? I didn't see this part.
Like, I
They're
forgot
all-
about that.
They're all cool with the pre-fight
Yeah.
donut.
Yeah.
Shredder's like, no, it's cool.
It's a thing. It's definitely a
Yeah,
thing.
definitely a thing.
They go over, they start feeding them these donuts, and they don't. No one blinks an eye about the pre-fight donut until they discover the ice cube, and only then are they like, "The pre-fight donut's bullcrap.
Yeah.
Let's get them."
Toka
Well,
and Razor were like, that was kind of cold in the middle of that pre-fight donut. And then all of a
Crunchy.
sudden, dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's ice cubes in here. Still not even like half melted.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous scene.
So they both take.
I loved it.
Basically, they both eat a donut.
Yes.
A
So at
donut.
this point
Yes.
now, they are half injected with
Right.
the serum to
And all the monsters do
make them better.
because again, you can't punch anybody in the face, especially these
Right.
turtles because they can't see anything. They just grab them by their shells and just throw them around.
Yeah.
That's all that happens, right?
Yeah.
Grab them by the shell, throw them around. Grab them by the shell, throw them around, and eventually they throw them into the Dockside Club.
Yes.
Yes.
Into the Dockside Club.
Through just a thin wall, apparently.
Right.
Where?
On a dock.
Who's in there?
The man himself,
The man himself.
the hero, not the zero, Vanilla Ice.
Yes.
Let's go.
Oh, good for you.
Tell you one thing, Vanilla Ice is really good at coming up with lyrics on the spot.
Oh,
This is the best part about this, is
he
he-
freestyled it.
Did you guys see that he acted?
Yes.
He had a
Yeah.
moment of acting. He sees these turtles bust in and fight with these giant mutant animals,
All
and he
confused.
takes a second to look at the
like,
situation,
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Assesses.
assess, and then formulates his lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
And off
I'm a
the top
freestyle.
of the
Off
dome.
The dome.
He's in almost all of the 130 movies
Absolutely.
that we've done that they broke in with
Yes.
giant mutants to fight in front of a Vanilla Ice concert.
So, if you were to see giant mutant ninja turtles, and
You wouldn't
didn't
think it's part of the show?
know that they were teenagers,
Yes.
would your first thoughts for your rap for it to be, I'm going to call them ninjas and not talk about how they're turtles or mutants?
Right. He knew a lot of specific information about them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't even recognize that they were.
He got the pamphlet.
But he assessed the situation.
Yeah, I mean,
he
he did.
took a minute to look, process. We saw the look on his face.
Yeah.
And then he rapped.
Yeah.
Is this before or after he got on his motorcycle to go out in the desert and think?
No, this is after he went out. He
is
thought
after all
about it and thought about this specific situation.
Right.
If I ever that.
come in, with mutants and turtles bouncing into a club through the wall like that, what's my rap gonna be?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
it was
he had
great
it
because
preloaded.
he was talking to the other guys too. So he stopped,
Yeah.
Yeah.
collaborated, and listened. And he's on a brand new mission.
He is. And the mission is to drop some funky, dope, fresh lyrics
Bam.
right.
And he did
about
it.
these freaking Ninja Turtles. Come on, man.
It was good. It was good.
It was awesome.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, Ralph took a spill.
Sorry. Where the hell are we at? All right. So, here's the other thing. Is while this is all going on, there's a giant fight between gigantic turtle, gigantic wolf, 4 other Ninja Turtles. You're going to tell me some of the people in this club were still just watching the stage and
A lot
watching
of them
Vanilla
people.
A
Ice.
lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? They're just, it cuts to them and they're all just right on Vanilla.
They're
just like,
singing.
oh, they're
Forget
part
the
of the
fact
show.
that these mutant animals are ripping each other apart behind you.
They're
Well, there's even a
I
big
paid
circle
$60
forming.
for this.
It's $60.
So I'm gonna watch my concert.
Hey, I took a taxi down here to the docks.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm getting my money's worth.
Paid $60 for this ticket.
I waited
Vanilla Ice.
like 2 hours to be here.
That would have been the whole talk of the next day too, because there's no internet. You're not like out there hanging out,
Oh my
No one's
god.
then
Believe
putting
you.
it on YouTube. Yeah,
Right.
They would have been like, "Man, did you see
Yeah,
Vanilla
right?
Ice's
Right.
show last night?
Dude.
4 turtles show up with this big giant turtle and this big giant wolf, and they
What are you
start
talking
fighting."
about? I was there. I didn't see it. Oh, you were in the front row.
Yeah, you missed it. There was a whole dance circle in the back.
Oh my god.
They
I would
busted
just
through the wall.
see this dude in his like at the water cooler the next day. Go Ninja. Go Ninja.
Yeah, right.
He's singing
What are
it
you
to
singing?
himself.
What is that?
Oh, dude, it's this funky new Vanilla Ice. He just dropped this beat.
I missed the show last
You missed
night.
the show, dude. He was,
sorry.
dude. We were in the middle of just listening to him rap about his white boy problems.
Yeah.
And then the door caved in, and some mutant animals came in, and boy, off the top of
What
the
do
dome,
you mean mutant animals?
they were like
Just giant turtle, man.
they looked a little young. They're probably like teenage, like mutant Ninja Turtles.
Huh?
Yeah, it was
I don't
pretty
know.
awesome.
That's weird.
And so he's just
That wasn't
started
a part
busting
of the
it out.
show. Oh, nice jams!
Sorry,
Playing
I'm
that
gonna
on your
try.
iPod.
There's a little bit of wee.
All right, Tatsu. It's so pathetic in this movie. He finally, after standing around in every other fight scene, steps up like he's going to do something and just gets shell shocked
Yeah.
by all 4 turtles, just sandwiched between all 4 of them. I was like, dude, they
was just
totally,
clownish.
They
It was just-
totally just
Yeah.
did
I would
his
say he
character
was
dirty.
living a sheltered life.
He was in that moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We're at 10 right now, Kurt.
Awesome.
You're welcome. That's when the lights turn off.
At this point, it turns into a dance party. The turtles are dancing. They get up on stage with
Oh,
Vanilla
yeah.
Ice.
Yeah.
They're jamming with
They're
him.
jamming out with him.
They know the choreography.
And then the whole place is just going crazy. And then eventually Shredder's like, F this music, and breaks an amp, right?
Yeah.
He's like, good God's sake, shut this crap off. Kills the sound, kills the music. Pro Shredder for about 4 seconds in this movie. I was like, yes, let's go.
Right.
He stands up, he's got the ooze canister, and he's like, I am the bad guy. What does he even say? I don't even remember. I am going to, over many, I'm going to have this for a long time, and a little bit by little, we're going to keep making more monsters. Because at this point,
And
the two-
meanwhile, Splinter's in the back
Yeah.
writing that down. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
'Cause-
a good saying. I'm
'cause
going to put that on a
the-
board.
his 2 original ones now turned into like
Turned
a
back into regular
husky
animals.
puppy and some sort of
Husky,
giant
yeah. Which is not a wolf.
not a wolf.
It's a
Not a wolf.
husky.
It's like a
It's a
brown
husky.
house dog.
And someone someone's going to write in when they hear this and say, "Well, actually, that's a Malamute," which is
Right.
do your research.
So here's
dummy.
here's a preemptive shush for you. Okay?
Shush.
See Shredder writing that down for his boards that he's going to wood burn, and then he's like, that'll go on my Etsy shop.
That's right.
Splinter's Etsy shop.
Oh my gosh.
That's how he got the nickname Splinter. It's because he was doing all these wood crafts.
Hey.
He's holding out the ooze. Kino, who was hanging out at the apartment with Shredder, but he's like, I'm tired of meditating. This is boring. Has left there. runs into the club that he knows the turtles are now in, gets onto the stage, and roundhouse kicks the ooze out of Shredder's hand.
Yes.
Yes.
And Shredder just stands there.
And doesn't cut his hand.
The ooze just
Or
goes
foot,
flying. And Shredder was just like, oh, crap, I didn't plan for Pizza Boy. But he's got an even smaller vial of
Yes.
ooze in his pocket.
He's like, psych!
He's like, you will never
I
defeat
got
me.
injectable ooze.
She's
I
like,
have
"Oh,
34 Russian dolls of this.
is
Anybody
it
got a syringe?
finally time for the Turtles to fight Shredder?
No.
Finally time to have their moment in the last one where he slapped them all around where they can come up now and defeat him.
So good.
How are we going to defeat Shredder? We've got all these weapons, can't use
got
them.
it.
We got our fists, can't use those. So Michelangelo
We've got
picks
Vanilla
up
Ice. Can't use him.
Michelangelo picks up a keytar,
Oh my god.
okay, and plays that thing so hard it blasts Shredder's ass out the window.
Yes.
Yes.
When the power of music.
This is the dumbest thing in this movie.
I know. That's how they're going to defeat the Shredder. They're going to blast some sweet synth on a keytar and shoot him out the door.
And then what do you do after that?
Well,
Right,
didn't he end
well,
up
they're
like in a
it's
pile
over.
of crap? Like,
Yeah,
in,
they
he
don't
ended
even
up in a pile of
check.
crap.
you walk over, look over into the water, and be like, that's weird. He's gone.
Yeah. Cowabunga?
We got him.
Cowabunga.
It's like Ghostbusters. Yeah, we had the tools and we had the talent, right? Like they think it's over.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not
They're
over.
high five and high three and whatever.
You didn't think of a super shredder, did you?
High thricing.
So because he had this little vial of ooze,
Yeah.
I don't know, he like fell and spilled it all over himself, or whatever, as he fell down. Because all of a sudden the floor gets, pulled out from under them. They
Yes.
fall under the docks.
Yep.
And Shredder now is 7 feet tall.
Super
Yes.
shredder.
Freaking gigantic, and it's super
Finally fills out his suit.
Kevin Nash.
which is played by Kevin Nash, which is just fantastic.
Which I love this, right?
And this was a missed opportunity for Kevin Nash. You have somebody that is able to take punches, take hits, sell it,
Yeah,
and what do you have him do?
just tear down the dock.
Tears down the dock.
that's it.
Yeah.
Were you bummed?
I was bummed, but I was also laughing because of the fact that mutagen apparently mutates metal.
Yes.
Is that
You didn't know that?
Is that what I didn't
Why
realize?
are his Shredder implements so huge?
Yeah, I mean his head is like doubled in size.
Yeah.
The helmet is completely different. The shoulder pads have 19,000 more metal blades on them.
You know, Kurt, when you get older, sometimes you have to take some
What?
something to help you out.
Well, they had to do something with those
The
Buick
reptile
bumpers
dysfunction
they
we
had out
had.
there.
What Kurt is saying is his clothes should have stayed regular and his dong should be hanging out because he should have just ripped through everything.
Right. Don't think those were the words that came out of my mouth. But freedom of choice. I got you.
Considering how big he was, if he had just grown as a person,
And then
he
the
like
ladies,
hulked out.
come up. Oh, super shredder! How you doing? Here's some
I'm just
pizza,
saying if
huh?
that's why they had to transform his clothes, or that's what you would have been looking at. And you can't have that in the Ninja Turtles movie.
No fighting.
Just incredible.
No using
Hulk that
weapons.
Just rips through
No
his
dogs.
clothes.
No, definitely
No
not.
oversized dongs.
No.
Can't have that.
Can't have it. Won't have it. Can't win with it. No.
Could you imagine though if they did, the turtles just grab him by the oversized dong, throw him out in the sea, just
Donatello's just like, that's a huge bow staff.
It's ridiculous.
Michelangelo would have thought of dongs instead of.
It
dong
is,
chunks.
all joking aside, it is super disappointing.
No,
that
it's hugely
in-
disappointing.
They never fight Shredder.
No.
No.
In 2 movies, essentially, there's
Yes.
never been a Shredder fight.
Yeah, they didn't touch him.
You got a chance to have this final brawl, and they made Shredder look terrible in this movie. That he never throws a punch. Kino kicks the thing out of his hand. He doesn't do anything. He comes out there, turns into Super Shredder, and he tears the dock down onto himself. So Shredder just ends up owning himself.
Right.
Yes.
It's like a big self-own, and that's how he's defeated.
Just need the GTA like wasted.
Right. So the Turtles don't even have their heroic moment. They just ditch. They're like, remember, we're turtles. And they get into the water.
They're pretty much
Yeah.
pointless.
To avoid getting the dock smashed in on him, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah.
He would have just done that to himself without the turtles there.
And then here's Shredder's only moment. Again, my fist just comes up through garbage
Right.
and wreckage and rubble, and
You think he's still alive?
Yeah.
Comes up through the dock, and then it just goes.
and they all take the deep breath. Except for none of their heads are wet, considering they were just in water.
Yeah. No.
Well, they were inside their shells.
Oh, okay.
It's the turtle wax. Just beads right off.
they, they go home, and this is where Shredder.
Shredder.
They go home, and this is where Splinter's pissed. They're they're like, "Oh yeah, we were sneaky. We practiced invisibility," and they're on the front page of the New York Post or whatever. Right? Ninja Rap is born. Looks like Vanilla Ice got another #1 hit on his hands. Okay,
Ninja Rap.
Ninja Rap.
So you're
Can't even
telling
hear
Are
me
you not familiar with it? This is how it goes.
Yo, it's the Green Machine.
I'm
You don't
not
even
doing
know
it
it when
again.
you hear it.
I just don't understand. Was Splinter there? How did he know the lyrics of the song?
You're right.
Were they posted in the paper?
That's what the whole lyrics cover.
ninja, go!
Yeah.
That's the whole
Made
article.
another funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The article was their lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah, watching April on.
yeah, because they didn't print them out for the albums anymore.
And
Yeah.
and what's the moral of the story, kids?
Don't use your weapons.
Don't ever play a keytar. That's it. Because if they hadn't done that, then Super Shredder never would have happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Your line, your genealogy will end if you play a keytar. That's
right.
What we're saying.
Leave the keytars alone.
Women-
Set it
Leave them
down.
to the professionals.
Don't even leave it to them. Set them down.
Nope, can't
In the
touch it.
toilet directly.
Toilet in the toilet.
Women will walk away from you if you play a guitar.
You're not wrong.
I've had to pull a guitar from a toilet.
That's Ninja Turtles too.
Really?
No, yeah.
Oh, guys.
Disturbing.
There's
This
no
was
joke.
rated a 6.
This is a 6.
Just remember that. On IMDb, this thing was a 6, everyone.
I think there's a way it could have been a 6.
What?
I do too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All you've got to
They
do.
hinted to it in the movie.
They hinted at it, but they just should have just gone ahead and put Arnold Schwarzenegger
They should
right
have.
in the frickin' movie.
They should have.
That's the way to make this movie good.
Where would you have put him? Super Shredder?
Then that seems like the obvious
That's the
point,
obvious.
right?
I've got one better. So
Oh.
he would Kevin Nash, keep Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash would be Shredder. And
Yeah.
then Arnold would be Super Shredder. So
There
he is
you
still
go.
Super Shredder, but Nash fills out the suit still, you know?
But the voice of Schwarzenegger would be the
right.
Super Shredder?
As Super Shredder, yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be like, ah!
But the problem is,
Sorry.
I like that was good. What if one of the Ninja Turtles takes the serum, and it's like Super Michelangelo
Yeah.
versus Super
Super
Shredder?
Leo, just to piss you off.
Just to piss me. Super Leo.
But he doesn't fight. He's just like, you guys aren't listening still. Ah!
So wait a second. Would it be Turtle Recall?
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Nice.
What if it was that?
What?
What if, because I hated Leo, right?
Yeah.
What if Quaid lays in his chair,
Yeah.
puts on his earphones, covers his mask. He wakes up as Leo.
Hello, cutie pie.
Hello. Michelangelo, what are you doing?
One of us is in big trouble. Okay.
It's not a
That's
turtle.
right.
I love your turtle shell. It's so fantastic.
Sean McHugh and Kyle Green both said their patrons that submitted for us. They both want him to be the voice of Splinter. They just want to hear him say, "Go Ninja, haha! I made a funny."
That's pretty good.
Then we could hear him make all those references to Bed Bath
right.
& Beyond. Be like, "Live laugh,
That's
love."
right. You have to dance, okay, like no one's watching. Live like there's no tomorrow. Is it 1 o'clock yet? Be awesome.
Bucks with short antlers stand
That's
close
right.
to the toilet.
Bill Gertson said, look, have him sing the Ninja Rap instead of Vanilla Ice. You can't honestly tell me it wouldn't be awesome. I also wanted to pick this just to hear James try to do it with his Arnold impression. So, Bill, I went ahead and printed the lyrics out.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
So I'm not going to do the whole dang song, but let's hear how this would sound. Maybe if Arnold would do it. Yo,
Good start. Good start.
Good start. Good start.
it's the Green Machine. I'm going to rock the town without being seen. Have you ever seen a turtle get down? Slamming and jamming into the new swing sound. Yeah, everybody, let's move. Vanilla is here with the new Jack Groove. I'm gonna rock and we're going to roll this place with the power of the Ninja Turtle bass. Ninja rap. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Go, go, go Ninja. Go. Everybody get down. Oh my gosh.
Get to the helicopter.
That's what I. Get to the pizza. Arnold as Vanilla Ice would be great, but
It's crazy. Even after hearing you sing that, I still don't know the lyrics.
But he's still
do you wanna know
supposed
how
to
it
be
goes?
Vanilla Ice.
It's the Green Machine.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Just want to see how many times I can hit the button. Go ahead.
In the movie, he's still supposed to be Vanilla Ice.
That's right. Same haircut.
oh my
Listen.
gosh, it would be great on
Arnold-
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Arnold with
You
the
got
vanilla
to
ice
drop the
haircut.
zero and get with the hero. Okay.
Everyone's just acting like it's Vanilla Ice.
Looky, looky, looky. What's in Cat's black bookie?
You know, the chick that drives the horse. I screwed that up.
Oh, it's good.
Well, it'd be great to see him and Keno back together again.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think it's Prince.
Yeah,
John.
maybe he could have finished the job and thrown Keno into outer space like he should have with Tarn.
He just played a keytar and just sent Keno into next
right.
century.
Right.
All right, it's time to give some awards out to this movie, guys. And we
Yes.
are going to start, as we always do, with the most prestigious award we give out. It's the Will Patton Award for Intensity.
You want a war? I'll give you a war!
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Every single episode, we give out an award to who had the most intense performance. It doesn't always mean the best actor, but the one that just gave it everything. They were so into their role, no matter how dumb or small it might have been, or even big. Who was your nomination, Mr. Mayor, for the Will Patton Award?
You know, there's a shortage in this movie, honestly, of
Oh, this was hard. This is a tough
very
one.
hard. I ultimately got down between two: Kevin Nash, because he broke the hell out of that pier, and Raphael. I'm gonna ultimately go with Raphael.
All right. I think that's a good pick, man. I'm never going to go against Raph. I mean, I didn't pick him, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to get mad
You're
if
not,
somebody
not like
does.
you're going against him though
Yeah,
either.
I got you.
Yeah.
Kurt?
I went with Shredder.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the babies line. Every time. Babies! They're babies! Every time. I just think it's so intense.
Yeah.
And I think I would have liked to have seen, Tatsu used more, and he would have gotten my award. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's
Because didn't he win last one?
He won.
think so.
I gave it to him last time. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The poor guy. Not his fault.
No.
He just didn't anything with it.
So I gave mine to Shredder.
All right. Fair enough. I also went Shredder on
Nice.
mine. So I just again, that's the only guy out there. Every line he gave was just like, "Ugh."
You felt the hate.
I really felt it.
Yeah.
I forgot to start weaving these in the middle as I should normally do. But Sean McHugh went with David Warner, Dr. Perry, by far the most accomplished actor in the film. He delivered his lines with seriousness. His delivery of scientific jargon would have been more suited for a scientific drama instead of being delivered to a 6-foot talking turtle. So, yeah, Sean, I get what you're saying there, man. And Bill Gertzen also went David Warner without hesitation. As much as I enjoyed Ernie Reyes Jr.'s performance and thought he took his role seriously, I think David Warner took it even further. He was fun to watch. I believed he meant every line he said, and the reaction he has when he sees the turtles and Splinter for the first time was totally believable. Plus, he had mad dance moves. Shout out from Bill on Dr. Perry's dance moves. Where you landed on this one, Madela? Speaking of doctors,
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash. So, who did you go with again?
I ended up going with Raph.
With Raph. Okay.
10
so,
out of 10, best self-own.
Kevin Nash was close second.
I felt bad that he had to do that to himself.
Right.
Do I need to vote different?
No.
No,
Well, I think, hold on. It's 2 Perry. Right now, it's 2 for Dr. Perry and 2 for Shredder.
Okay.
And Kyle Green. This is Kyle's first time joining us on the awards. So what's
Welcome,
up, Kyle?
Hey, Kyle.
He said the Turtles, man, the voice actors, the guys in the suits, the guys who made the suits, they look awesome still. And the Turtles as a whole is who I would give it to, but specifically Michelangelo is his vote where he plants his flag. And so we do have a 2-way tie between, although technically he voted for Shredder also.
It's true.
It's Super Shredder.
Yeah.
But it's not the same actor, so we can't go with
Same,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to have a tiebreaker here between Shredder and Dr. Perry. So if you had to choose between the two,
Between those two, then definitely Shredder. I didn't think Dr. Perry was intense at all. Maybe he was an accomplished actor and did a decent job acting, but Shredder was probably fits the intensity bill.
Now, unless Madela wants to go Dr. Perry, we've solved this. But would you go between those two, Dr. Perry?
No.
All right, so that Shredder's going to win the Will Patton Award for intensity. Let's give it up
Nice.
All right, Shredder.
for the man wearing the cheese grater.
Even though he couldn't use his sharpened Buick bumpers
Right.
at all.
The next award we give out is to the worst actor in the movie, which is why it's named after Steven Seagal. It is the Steven Seagal Trash Can Full of Dirt Award.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies, and neither do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
That's right.
I missed that.
It's my ringtone.
Kurt.
It's my text message.
Kurt.
Yes, sir.
It's been a long time.
Mayor, who's your nomination for the worst actor
All
in
right,
the movie?
so
Who's
I'll
the
say
trash
this.
can?
I thought at the outset of this movie, I would be giving Eddie Reyes Jr. his second trash can from me because his martial arts are on point, but let's be honest, his acting was garbage once again.
Yeah.
But then April O'Neil showed up. Paige Turdco gets my trash can full of dirt.
Yeah, we barely talked about her.
Yeah.
She has nothing to do in this movie.
She was so clownish every time. Oh, the turtles! Hey, here's some pizza, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was bad.
terrible.
Sean McHugh went with Michael Pressman, who was the director of the movie, but he played the news manager that had a
He
single
was bad,
scene
too.
with
There-
April
there's no shortage.
that
in
we
this
didn't even
movie.
talk about because
No.
it was a nothing scene.
No.
Yeah.
He says, stick to being behind the camera, man. You can't act from Sean.
Mel
enough.
Brooks, you are not.
Yes.
So, yeah.
He's kind of like that guy from Last Starfighter.
Which one? The ones that all gave great
director.
performances?
Right.
He has the opposite effect where he's good as the form, the shape of Michael Myers, but he's not good as the director.
Got it. Kurt, who's your nomination for the trash can?
I hate to do this, but I'm going with Leo.
With Leonardo.
I hated Leonardo in this movie. He could have been a leader. He could have been
He
what
could have stepped
Splinter
up.
was. I mean,
Yep.
he could have had some.
But is that an actor issue or script issue?
Yeah, but he delivered the lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it just sounded so whiny,
Yeah.
That's
Right.
true. That's true.
and I hated it.
I think that's a valid choice. Kyle Green said, look, the Foot Clan.
Also a good
They
choice.
stunk.
They're all awful. Every one of them. They're all bad. Honorable mention to whoever made the Shredder suit. Uncomfortable. Looked like he could barely move that thing. Yeah, I think. Talking about Super Shredder. I mean, neither of them really.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Foot Soldiers were awful. Anytime one of them was unmasked and had to, like the dude that had to talk in the trials or the guy that. I went with a Foot Soldier myself, but a specific one. I went with Freddie, the cameraman.
Yeah.
I thought he was a terrible actor. Every
Yeah.
line of dialogue he had to
Yeah,
give.
he's bad.
You tell them to meet us at the construction site. I'm like, oh, dude.
3
I feel like
o'clock
April
at
could
the
beat him
flagpole.
up.
She probably could have. They're all. We have all different so far.
So far.
That
Well, and
tells you
that's
with
I
this
guess why I
movie.
went with the turtles because I feel like the turtle, like Leo's supposed to be one of the turtles. They're the
Yeah.
people that carry them.
He's supposed to be the leader.
So
of the
like all
Turtles.
the other
True.
people are kind of like side characters in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're gonna be one of the head guys that are supposed to be entertaining, you should probably do that.
Yep.
Oh, I agree. Bill Gerson said Kevin Nash.
Oh, Bill, come on, Bill.
He goes, this is one of the this is the one thing that kept this movie from being perfect for me and has always bothered me ever since I watched it as a kid. Why was he not in it more? He's barely in it at all. I think he was in it less than 2 minutes and they did almost nothing with him. All he did was show up, smash some things and die. It's cool they got Kevin Nash to do the part, and I have nothing against him. I think the problem lies with the writers. Here you build up Shredder coming back throughout the whole film,
Yep.
and then he dies in an anticlimactic way with no epic battle with the turtles.
Nope.
I get the feeling a part of that had to do with financial problems while the movie was being made. Bill, it actually didn't. It had everything to do with they couldn't have any violence. Now, a close second would be Mark Diller as Freddy. It was an
there you go.
unbelievable performance throughout, even though he was trying to express emotion. So, but his vote is ultimately Kevin Nash, but he gives honorable mention to Freddy.
Yeah.
Idiot
I think that's a
cameraman.
fair assessment.
Yeah.
And it's a good call out that the trash can full of dirt, the intention is that person could have been replaced by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it isn't always their fault, right?
Super trash can.
Super.
I would have loved to seen a trash can with some katanas. Oh wait, they didn't use them.
Dr. Madela, you ultimately can call your shot here because there's been 6 separate votes, Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, six separate
separate.
votes. And so all you have to do is double somebody else's, and you pick the winner essentially here.
So you could actually pick anybody from this movie, I think, to put inside the trash can or be replaced with the trash can. There's almost nobody in this film that means or does
Or
anything.
gave a good performance.
Or it even matters. Like none of the movie matters. It's incredible. But I had 2 names down.
Okay.
I had Ernie Reyes Jr. and Paige Turco, which I put those down because I knew in our discussion I'd be able to decide on one of the 2.
Yeah.
And I'm going with Paige.
Okay, well,
April was terrible.
she sucked.
She was
dude.
terrible.
She sucked.
Yeah. Awful. I loved Judith in the first one.
I did
thought
too,
She was
yeah.
great.
She was like a Dyson. Okay.
Yeah.
She sucked.
And with that means Paige Turco is going to win
I count that as a pun, sir. I
the
think you should
trash
add that.
can
Yeah.
full of
There you go.
dirt.
Wreck it.
All right,
Welcome aboard, sir.
It's time for our next award. The Steve James Unsung Hero Award.
Yeah.
Is this a required one?
This is going to be a rough one.
It's going to be ours.
This is hard, dude.
I know, it's hard.
Then there are those few who are. Are you some kind of a badass karate boy?
No, Steve, nobody in this movie was.
Not even karate.
Not even.
Seriously.
No.
Not one, but what this award is supposed to be for is someone that was in a non-lead role that saved the movie by being in it. And maybe that no one saved the movie, but they, in their small part, was a bright light in an otherwise dark place. You know, they carried their part well. Who is your nomination?
There's a secondary definition.
Yes, the secondary
right?
definition is they were so interesting as a minor character that we would have preferred to maybe watch a movie about them instead. Yeah, so that's another qualifier, absolutely.
Yes.
Mueller, who you got over there?
Honorable mention to Arnold for having a hard to spell name.
Yeah,
That was a great joke in the movie.
it was.
Yeah. I am going with Vanilla Ice.
Wow.
Nice.
He did make the movie
He
better.
made the movie
did.
better. That scene was crazy and it was enjoyable. Even if he wasn't in a motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing we got out of this movie.
All right, let's see what the guys said here. So Sean McHugh said Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, Sean.
For introducing my 6-year-old self to rap. The Iceman was cool as ice, and as soon as I heard ninja rap, I was hooked. Ice is working it in this movie. He was just too cold.
How many? We gotta rack up, Sean. Rack them up, Sean. You just got racked.
I can
there you go. About 3
I
of
can
them there.
still to this day recite the lyrics to this song. I even taught my preschool class the dance from the movie.
Awesome.
He's got a bunch of
Awesome.
3-year-olds out there
little 3-year-olds in there
doing it.
Go ninja.
I love it.
It's awesome.
I turn all my students into Cadillac ninjas. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to grab my rainbow sweats and backwards cap so I can get the cutie to drop that 0 and get with the hero.
Yeah.
Great.
That was
great
nice.
submission,
Well
Sean.
done.
Nice. So we've got 2 for Vanilla Ice. Kurt?
Thinking upon what you were reading there, I really would like to have reflected on Schwarzenegger as Vanilla Ice to also say, "The Iceman cometh." That's right. Nice. That would have been great. Anyway,
Cool party.
cool party. So I had a real hard time with this one. I wanted it to be Tatsu.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted him to have a spin-off movie, and it never happened. But
Yeah, a great character that should have been treated better.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, but I was gonna say Splinter.
Yeah.
Because Splinter was still great as himself in this movie. But
Yeah,
man,
and not
I'm
only-
jumping on the Vanilla Ice train. He made this movie great.
Yes.
The moment he showed up, even rewatching it now, I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
Vanilla Ice makes it worth it where you want to watch this movie to that point.
The moment the movie was off, I went and looked up the video.
yeah.
Back when it played on MTV.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm watching this again.
Right.
And it was on a loop for a while there after I watched this movie.
And now Evelyn loves it.
She came down and she's like, what's up? what's going on? What's this from? I was like, from the Turtles movie. She's like, oh, the first one? I was like, no, the second one. She's like, oh, I don't want to watch that. She's like, but I'll watch this.
She's like, I've got good taste.
She's down there jamming, doing the dance. I was like, all right.
Kyle Green said Toka and Razor come on. They are adorable, so they get his unsung hero award.
Yeah, they were once they got turned back into their giant tortoise and baby husky.
So you can see here, Kirk can see it. I did have also Splinter down.
Yeah, you did write that,
as
yes.
my pick here.
Yes.
But as soon as Ryan said Vanilla Ice, Madela can attest to this. I might have been off mic, but I turned to him and I went, I think he's right. I didn't even think about Vanilla Ice because he's not an
I didn't
actor.
either.
He's not an actor to be.
Right.
But I also got to jump on board.
Yeah.
The freaking train. We're going, baby. Go Ninja. Go Ninja. Go.
Go Ninja.
Vanilla Ice all day. Bill Gerson, which at this point might be a foregone conclusion, but Bill's vote was for Ernie Reyes Jr. as Keno. His character is very likable in every scene he's in. He's enjoyable to watch, whether he's just talking, busting out awesome martial arts moves, or passing out. Watching it as a kid, I said I was sad he was not in the movie more, and I still feel that way. The only other character I wish had more screen time was Super Shredder. I like Ernie Reyes Jr. I'm annoyed by Keno, not that he did a bad job, but only because Keno's only put in the movie as a less violent replacement for Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Yes.
They wanted to replace the ultra-violent Casey Jones, and they put Keno instead. So I hate the character because it means we don't have Casey, which they brought back for the third one.
Well, and he could have done really well if they had allowed him to be more violent. Not like that we want super violent, whatever, but like him doing more martial arts in a, I don't know, just a more effective way instead of just like, oh, these guys are bouncing out of the way. Like, it could have been a lot cooler.
No, I agree.
One of the great points
because he's talented.
Yeah, one of the great points about Casey Jones though too is fighting style.
Right.
So like, you've already got the Turtles who are doing ninja moves. The fact that you had somebody that was a little bit more of a brawler was fun to watch next to the Turtles.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so you just gave me one more Ninja Turtle basically.
And he was a Ninja Turtle in the last movie.
first movie, right?
Ernie Reyes Jr. was one of the Turtles' fight guys in the suits.
Right. I think it was Donatello, if I wasn't mistaken.
So, all right. So it goes to you, Dr. Madela.
So I was going to say Razor because I wanted to see what happens to that wolf after he gets transformed back and has to live a life as a wolf and had some form of consciousness.
Yeah, right?
But I'm going to say Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Clean.
I love it. That means that it's not a clean sweep, but at the table it is. But Vanilla Ice is going to win. It's 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
Did he win any awards for his last movie that was on the show?
I don't
Cool
know.
as Ice.
I don't even know what awards we were giving out at that time. That was only like the 6th episode that we had ever done at that point.
He got the Clint Loves You award.
Time to tell our favorite 3 things about the movie. So board the positivity train over there, Mueller, and give me 3 positive things. What'd you like?
Okay. The Schwarzenegger line. I enjoyed that. I chuckled at that.
Fair enough.
I think just Kevin Nash showing up, even though he's just busting up here.
Yeah.
You know, it's I always like Kevin Nash as a wrestler, and whenever he shows up in movies, kind of get geeked out about that. So I was like, even though he died and owned himself, I'm like, all right, Kevin Nash showing up, and then the Ninja Rap Vanilla Ice, number 1.
Awesome. Sean says, Michael, I'm on the wrong one. Sean says, The Underground Lair, number 3. I know it featured more in the 3rd film, but when I saw this as a kid, I thought this place looked awesome.
Yes.
And
It did
dreamed
look
of having a
awesome.
kick-ass hideaway like that, right?
It did look awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
2, he said Toka and Razor. I know they're just cheap knockoffs of Bebop and Rocksteady, but I still thought they looked pretty badass. Plus, they did become canon later, so obviously I wasn't the only one that liked them. And number 1, his favorite thing was Ernie Reyes Jr. I think I made my approval of this kid known on the Red Sonja episode. He's a talented martial artist, and he had great comedic timing. If he's in a movie, he's in my top 3. In all caps, when is Surf Ninjas happening, James? I don't control when the movies come out. You know?
Yeah,
Surf
not
Ninjas-
anymore.
Surf Ninjas
This
will
is
come up.
its own beast.
It's random at this point. So, but I feel you, man. That's going to be a great episode whenever it happens. Kurt, what are your 3 favorite things?
I went with number 3, also the lair.
Okay.
If there's something you always wanted as a kid, it was like the Ninja Turtles lair.
Yeah.
You know, you always had the sewers, but this kind of, to me, reflected more of what the cartoon was all about.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was the home life, you know, like, they all had their own rooms. It was kind of a cool little thing to see.
Yeah.
Number 2, Michelangelo.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all his jokes in this movie. I don't care if it was the combat cold cuts next to him doing the flips, which we didn't talk about.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he just stops and he's making the noise and he's still counting.
Right.
And then Splinter looks over and he's like,
Catches
what
him.
the? And he's like, sorry. Like,
One?
yeah, right back to one, you know? I mean, it was great. The Raph line. And then number one, I mean, we kind of reiterated this, but Vanilla Ice, man.
There you go.
Made that movie great.
Yep.
There you go. Kyle said the turtle suits still look awesome. Number one, Super Shredder, even though it only lasts like 10 seconds, and overall he loves the humor, thinks it's just silly, and so those are Kyle's 3 favorite things. Look, for me, it's always going to be Raph. That's the reason I keep coming back to Ninja Turtles whenever I do. I'm looking for Raphael. Ernie Reyes is legit martial arts. I really enjoyed those when they were in the movie, and then Super Shredder. I mean, back when I was a kid, it's the only thing I could think about when I walked out of Secret of the Ooze, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you see Super Shredder?
Oh, it's great.
It didn't even dawn on me the fact that he did nothing.
Yeah.
When you're a
Right.
child, doesn't even register.
No, he's there. It's
You
like,
walk out of
there's
there
a
13 years
Super
old,
Shredder.
yeah.
You walk out of there thinking they had a huge fight, right?
Right.
So Bill Gertzen wrote in. He said number 3 was the ninja rap. No explanation needed. You're right, Bill. No explanation at all.
None at all.
You already know how awesome it is. 2, David Warner's performance. I previously said I thought it had a great performances as Dr. Perry. So much so that if you were still doing top 3 performances, he would get my number 1 spot.
Wow.
And number 1, the Turtles, of course. Seeing as this is a Ninja Turtles movie, how could they not be one of my favorite things in it? That would be like not putting Arnold as one of your top 3 favorite things in an Arnold movie. Come on, man. Who are your, well, I say who. What are your top 3 things from the movie?
The turtle costumes.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah,
Shout
those
out to
were really
Jim
good.
Henson.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Vanilla Ice / his rap was incredible. And then the pizza intro. I really liked it. I loved it.
Really
Loved
like
it.
the pizza.
Did it make
Really
anybody else
love
want to go get pizza immediately?
Oh, yeah,
I got
absolutely.
pizza last night.
I've been craving it
And
since
I was so happy I had that already.
for
'cause
3
otherwise-
weeks. I haven't been able to have pizza.
Yeah.
No?
That's
No.
rough.
Why not?
I just haven't had time to order
Oh,
it
I
and
thought
get
like
it
you
delivered
just
to the house.
Oh, gosh.
But this
Haven't been able
movie
to
is
have it.
There was a
literally.
reason.
I thought you were like
That's what I
banned from
thought.
pizza
No.
or something. Like
Well,
I can't eat
there's
pizza
a couple
anymore.
of places, but we don't need. That's a different story. That's a post-show talk.
Fair enough. Save it for that on the post-game show after this. On Patreon, if you're not on there yet, we keep recording after each episode. You never know where the hell we end up on those.
You think the shows are meandering?
I know.
It's always a surprise.
Speaking of meandering, we've meandered all over the place, and now we've got to land the plane, right? It's time to come to some kind of final rating. Is this a good movie? Is it a bad movie? Or is it one of those that it's a bad movie, but it rules and it's enjoyable to watch? Ultimately, Mayor, where do you land on Secret of the Ooze?
Boy, so you're walking around the house.
The dog crap. I forgot. Oh, it's been a while.
And man, you see like little kind of blackish brown streaks around the house, and you think, oh man, what are the kids walking around with the chocolate syrup for? They're getting it all over. It's all over the house. You're walking through the house. And then one day you see and you figure out the secret of the ooze. It's coming from the dog. I got a perpetually runny ass, and so you take him to the vet. This is a bad movie, straight up. It's just
Wow.
yeah, it's a bad movie. There's nothing here, and it's because it's a turtle movie. You're expecting the fights,
Yeah.
and they caved and said, well, okay, you can't use your weapons, and it's not like they ran anybody through with the weapons or anything in the first one.
No.
It was clownish. It's not what I was expecting from a turtle movie. I probably liked it when I was 11, 12 years old when it came out. We all went and saw it, but it's one of those that just doesn't hold up even, with the nostalgia factor. Just bad.
I hear you. Sean McHugh said, this is a bad movie that rules. Now, the first, if you guys remember, Sean was our only returning award giver. He did the awards on the first one as well. He said, the first one is one of my favorite movies. It's turtly amazing.
Yes. Welcome.
I still maintain that it's a good movie. Deal with it, Bob. You're the idiot.
Yes. Suck it, Bob.
Unfortunately, I cannot say the same thing about this one. I loved this as a kid, and it was still a shell of a good time. But
This guy.
Taking
my job over here.
But like most sequels, it just doesn't match the original. They tried to be funny, but most of the jokes were just not Shellarious.
That's a good one.
They did make use of the bigger budget, and it shows the turtle costumes were more advanced, and Toka and Razor look cool. I also think the chemistry between April and the turtles was more genuine, and as much as I love Judith Hoag, Paige Turco was nicer to look at. So while I'm not the same level as the good original Fight Me Bob, I still will watch and enjoy this film again, something I cannot say about the third Turtles movie. So Sean has downgraded slightly from a good to a bad movie that rules from the first one, but he still enjoys it. Yeah, and so here's what I'll say. I'm going to give Kurt the last word on this because it is Ninja Turtles, and I'm sure he's got very complicated feelings about this movie. So you're going to get last word.
All right,
okay.
thanks.
Look, this movie stinks. It's. I think I'm going to go bad movie that rules just because it's the Ninja Turtles, and there's some enjoyment you get out of the turtles, whether in this case it's certainly not the fighting, because that's like the one thing you want to see them fight the foot.
Yeah, they did the one-liners. They did the turtle things, like
make the foot robots. Like
right.
they made them robots in the cartoon so they could cut them up and justify all that stuff, to the violence. So do whatever you got to do, but you got to have them fight. I think that's the only reason this movie's not any good. Call it nostalgia, call it the fact that I just love the Ninja Turtles. I'm still going to say bad movie that rules, but man, April had nothing to do. Tatsu had nothing to do. Come on.
Shredder.
You got Shredder.
Did nothing with Shredder.
You got to do better. That's my final rating. Bad movie that rules. It should have been way better. Right? Let's see here. Kyle Green said, look, as soon as this movie started, I was back to 7 years old. From the first fight to somehow Vanilla Ice having an entire song ready for Ninja Turtles right on the spot. The few complaints I have about the movie is like, why did it seem like Shredder had a harder time moving around than the Turtles did? And the obvious movie trope of one bad guy attacking at a time. It's almost certain the person writing the script got paid for each word, like a one-word line, like, yeah, awesome, just randomly in there. My final rating is this is a good movie, full stop. Wow. Also, you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Kyle. We appreciate that, man. But Kyle, coming in strong with the good movie, full stop.
That's a hot take on this pile of garbage.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
That's totally wrong. I don't say that. Brian is saying that, but I'm just rephrasing what he said.
Thank you.
That's not
Appreciate
something
that.
that I say, but people say this.
People say it. What do you say, Dr. Matala?
This is one that I begrudgingly say is a bad movie that rules. It's one of those movies that you go into your office and you lock the door, turn the lights off, and then watch it. And
from under a cover.
Is anybody watching me?
When someone does walk in on you, you're like, I was watching porn. Because it's easier to explain.
Like, what is this? What am I watching?
How did that get on there?
Weird.
Ooh, weird. Yeah.
But it's...
Somebody needs to take the Dahmer meme of him holding the knife and making him watch and have Secret of the Ooze on the TV. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. This is something Jeffrey Dahmer would make you watch. That's true. No, it's... I did enjoy watching it.
Like while you guys are hanging out or before he eats you or...
Right before they're going to take some pictures.
Yeah. Before he's like, relax. I just want to take some pictures.
So would that be a snapping turtle?
Oh. All right. Sorry, go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah, it's just, I did enjoy it, but there's nothing about it to enjoy, if that makes sense. It's just not
think so.
there.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm assuming
I'm disgusted at myself. For
since
it.
Lauren hated the first one, I'm assuming she hates the second one.
She didn't even comment, so I have no idea.
She watched in silence and left the
She
room.
stood up and just was like, gone.
She's like, well, that happened.
She threw a smoke grenade and just was out.
She did say that the Keytar piece, she was like, that's ridiculous. I was like,
Okay.
Yeah, the Mutant Ninja Turtles aren't, though.
That's right.
It's totally realistic.
Bill Gerson said, look, I had mentioned before that I was celebrating that I got to do this movie for my first time doing awards, but I really was afraid that I might end up hating this movie. I was wrong. I still love it.
Oh, great.
No less than I did when I was a kid, even if a lot of it, the acting is awful, some laughably so. I think the movie is enjoyable throughout the whole film. So for me, it's a good movie that rules. Full stop. I would not be surprised if I was the only one that felt this way. Well, you didn't. Kyle also said that, so we haven't heard from Kurt yet.
Got a couple good.
With the exception of, he goes, I would not be surprised if I was the only one that felt this way, with the exception of Kurt, but I would love for you to prove me wrong. Now, why do I think that about Kurt? Because, like him, I also love puns and Masters of the Universe. So there you go, from Bill Gerson. Yeah.
Love that guy.
Good movie. What we finally
him are
now,
like soul friends.
Kurt, please share your thoughts and feelings about Secret of the Ooze.
So here's my take, and everyone has said, I mean, it's already on the table.
Yeah.
I agree with everything that has been said. I am a fanboy through and through. I'm upset that Bebop and Rocksteady were not in there, but I wasn't angry that it was Razor and Toka. The way that I look at this movie, the first one was definitely its own movie. So it was based more on like comics. And so to me, the first one was a good movie. I disagree with Bob wholeheartedly. The second one, however, I feel is more based off of the cartoon. I feel like it's become a joke on itself. It knows it's bad. It knows where it's coming from. It knows it's a turtle movie. And we came there to be enthralled and enjoy the turtles.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, it did that.
Oh, okay.
So I will say it is a bad movie that rules. And spoiler alert, the last one is dog water. So that is already a bad movie. If I'm not on that episode, you'll know.
So then you're saying it's the three movies go good, bad movie that rules, bad movie.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just feel it's gone that way, kind of what we talked about with like Batman. As much as I love Batman and Robin for what it is, it is a bad movie.
Yeah.
But it's enjoyable.
I think I rated that one rules because of its one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go back and watch this movie.
Yeah.
I loved watching it. In the amount of time that I had to watch it, I think I've gotten it like 6 times.
So when was the last time you had watched Secret of the Ooze before this? Had it been a while?
Yeah, I want to say maybe like 6-7 months.
Okay.
Only because
Long time.
I was introducing the turtles to my kid. Okay. So it was one of those like, you got to watch this movie. Yeah. So we watched the first one.
Yeah.
When, I showed up on the first one. So what, a year ago? And then we watched the second one. And it was one of those where it's like, oh, there's a third one? Yeah, but you don't need to watch that.
No, there's not. That was the answer you should have gave her.
So we actually watched, the last movie we watched together was The Mutants of Mayhem, which we loved.
Nice.
My daughter loved it. I loved it. Okay. It was a great reinvention of the Turtles.
Awesome.
So
is that like the newest one?
Yeah, that's the one where Jackie Chan is Master Splinter.
So I think across. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I saw the one remake they did that I think had Megan Fox or something.
Yeah, that's the Michael Bay one.
Yeah,
it was not good.
No, that was a hard one to sit on. Yeah. But they did try to redeem themselves with Bebop and Rocksteady in the second one.
Right.
Okay. I didn't even watch the second one.
Yeah.
So I saw the new one.
Well, I think the damage was already done, and that was the problem with the first one.
The bloom was off the rose.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just skipped it. Yeah. So across our table, at least, I think it was 4 bad movies that rule.
Yep.
And then
I didn't vote yet.
No, I had a bad.
Oh, didn't you?
I don't. Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
said bad
What am I doing?
you said
I was bad.
Yeah, you got your final.
You
say.
all were bad
That's
movies that rule.
Right.
I was so thrown off because he was
right.
going.
So 3 rules and a bad from us.
Yep.
The patrons, we got a couple of straight
Goods.
up goods,
Yeah.
right? Didn't we?
Yeah.
And then a bad movie that rules in there. So
Every once in a while, you get a stray arrow.
yeah,
to the
but
chest.
just like in Gymkata, right? And sometimes every once in a while you catch a stray shark while you're swimming around, and that's what we're going to be talking about next week, guys.
What?
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Oh,
Jaws 2.
Dun, dun.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Jaws 2 is, though this is why Bob couldn't be here this week. He has to be on Jaws 2 because he was mad he couldn't be on Jaws 1, just like you were on TMNT, 1. Jaws 1 is one of my brother's favorite movies, and we ended up doing that one on Good Movies Rule with Charles and Patrick.
Yes.
Because whatever reason Bob couldn't make it, and so Bob now gets to jump into the Jaws franchise with number 2.
Nice.
They get like the whole cast back.
Yeah.
They do everything looks identical.
The same.
It's crazy when we watched it because we watched Jaws.
Yep.
Lauren and I did.
Oh, nice.
And then we watched Jaws 2, and I was like, how did they do this?
It's and it's 3 years later. It wasn't like right away.
Because so many sequels, there's stuff that's different.
Yeah.
You know, where you're like, it's not quite the same.
the same mayor, even that same like annoying councilwoman that's
Yeah.
in there. You know, like they're all back in there. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Not the same shark though.
No, it's a different shark.
looks the same. Like, you sure about that? Yeah, so join us next week. We'll have Bob in here, and Patrick will be back. Patrick was on the first Jaws movie that we did, and so we'll get Patrick and Bob, and I'm not sure who else is joining us on that. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but there'll be somebody else also. Sorry to whoever that is. I forgot.
Not me.
Don't like me on this show.
But whoever that person is will also be joining us for Jaws too. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we appreciate Kurt. You're back. Thank you, man.
Thank you for having me.
No,
back.
it's
I
going to be
appreciate
fun
it.
having you back in the fold here again every month. And just thank you to Mr. Sorry, you went to doctor school, Dr. Matala. And thank you to the mayor for being here. We appreciate you guys also that have listened. So thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Let's make a turtle movie, and let's strip away all the things that are great about the turtles. The kids will love it. They're stupid.
Sounds
like
a
their
winning
weapons.
idea. Yeah. Don't use their weapons at all.
You don't need those.
Don't need
No
them.
size. No nunchucks. No katanas. Don can use the stick once.
Knock, knock on the foot.
Don't use weapons.
Sever.
Meat nunchucks.
Yo-yos and belts and sausages are okay.
And guitars.
The guy in the meat area is dead.
Blood rushing out from underneath.
That's just sausage.
And then he just is like,
Whoops.